This is VFL Live.
It is a beautiful day for football here at Windy Hill. Hello and welcome to the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Live match of the day. It is Essendon taking on Richmond, and with 2 rounds to go remaining in the season, the race to the finals is on, and it's really a battle of 2 groups because we've got the top 4 locked in. We're just working out where those finals are going to be played in week 1. We know Richmond's finished on top of the ladder. This is their final home and away game for season 2019. And down the bottom reaches of the top 8, it's a real opportunity for clubs sort of from 5 through to about 9 or 10 to make their mark and have a chance of playing in finals action. We know a lot of those spots are locked away, but 8th place still very much up for grabs. It is a beautiful day for football here at Windy Hill, and certainly the Bombers will be looking to turn things around after they were thrashed last week in our match of the day against Footscray at the Whitten Oval, and they come up against a red-hot Tigers side who are doing all the right things heading into September, and they want a nice tune-up heading into the finals. This is their last home and away match for season 2019. I'm Peter Mercado. It's great to be with you. Joining me in commentary today is Adam Sarakoglu. And Adam, take us through the team news because a few big ins for both teams.
The key word here is stack, Peter, because Sydney Stack has come into the side late as a late inclusion. 18 AFL listed players for the Tigers out here today. They are fielding a very, very strong lineup, and the same can't be said for the Bombers. Only 11 AFL listed players. The Bombers coming off a heavy loss last week, a 93-point loss to be exact, against Footscray, where again the ratio of AFL v VFL listed players for the 2 sides was well in favour of Footscray. So the Bombers have been struggling with personnel on the AFL list in the last couple of weeks. So it might be filtering down to the form we're seeing here in the VFL. But Richmond absolutely flying, and they have essentially a starting lineup full of AFL players.
They absolutely do, and they're tuning up nicely. There is a big reason. I mean, Richmond can't move from top spot today, Adam, but these players that are out here today, the AFL listed ones, and you talk through some of the major names, are wanting to press their claims. No chance at VFL football next week, but because they're already into the finals, they're going to finish in top spot and get the double chance. The VFL side will become crucial in that first week because, of course, it's the bye round for the AFL. So there's a real opportunity here for these Tiger players to really press their claims for AFL selection and building up nicely here at VFL level 2.
And it's something they've become accustomed to as well, because the Richmond VFL side has had that in the last couple of years, making the grand final in 2017. A top 2 finish last year. They had the home final at the Swinburne Centre on that same weekend, which obviously coincided with the AFL side having a week off before their final. So for Richmond, it's just standard as usual. They're used to this now, and it's a big game for a lot of these guys. It's been a while, Peter, since I've called a game here on Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Live where a team has 18 AFL players in their lineup. It's a remarkable number.
It absolutely is, and it just shows the depth that they've got now after all those injury problems the Tigers have had throughout the season. They're tuning up nicely. It's pretty much just Alex Rance, who's the long-termer, I guess, in terms of the injury stakes there. So pretty much full list to choose from, and that's where you want to be at this particular part of the season. They've won 5 in a row, the Tigers, and they're just flying along, sitting comfortably on top of the ladder, 15-2. They can't drop from top spot on the table. But I mentioned in the intro that it's a battle of sort of the 2 halves of the 8, where you've got the top 4 who are jostling for those home finals. Richmond, we know, has got one. Footscray. Then you got Williamstown and Essendon. So big game for Essendon. Essendon need to win today to pretty much keep those top 2 hopes alive. And we'll talk more about how this all sort of filters down as the afternoon goes along. But it's Richmond, Footscray, Williamstown, Essendon. 60 points, 50, 50 and 48. Rule of line. Then you've got Werribee sitting in 5th. They're definitely going to play finals, but they can't reach the top 4. They're on 40 points. Then you've got Geelong, 40 points. Port Melbourne on 38 and Casey on 32.
Then below that, you've got...
Well, hang on, because the advantage is for Geelong. Geelong have 2 more games to play. Werribee, Port Melbourne and Casey, just the 1 game because of the way the buys are structured at the back end of the season. Then...
Now we're going to go there.
Yes, we are, because you've got Box Hill and the Northern Blues. Then you rule the line. So Collingwood, Sandy, North Melbourne, Coburg, Frankston, you lock them away. They're not playing finals this season. Box Hill sitting on 30 points. They've got the 2 games to play, and we'll go through the round of matches in a moment. And then the Northern Blues, they've also got a chance. They're on 28 points. Bearing in mind Casey is on 32 points. So with all that in mind, it's going to be a really interesting run. Northern Blues really need to rely on other results going their way, and there's a massive game coming up today because they could get their future sorted by 5 o'clock 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
It's
or 3 o'clock, I should say. It's a 12 o'clock bounce because Box Hill and the Northern Blues are playing one another tomorrow afternoon.
That's at Box Hill City Oval. So this is the only game in the VFL standalone Saturday fixture. A good crowd here, both AFL sides not in action during the same time as this. So good crowd building at Windy Hill, but
so
that is a huge game tomorrow.
Let's take us through all the games for round 20, and we'll give you a sense of how this sort of plays out, wins and losses. Today's game, Richmond can't move, so win or loss, they're covered, and they'll finish the home and away season on top. Essendon need a win to keep those top two hopes alive, but it will depend a little bit on what happens with the two teams above them. The other games to come, we've got Williamstown and Geelong. That's the Channel 7 game tomorrow. So Williamstown get a win. They press their claim for a top two spot. But remembering, if they stay as they are, Footscray and Williamstown, Footscray will get in because they'll get the top two spot because they've got a massive percentage. That was a massive percentage building win last week against Essendon, 150.62 to Williamstown, 124.16. So it's a lot of ground to make up. So it's going to be purely on match wins, you would suspect there. Then, of course, the Box Hill Northern Blues, so that'll help sort out a few things there. North Melbourne take on Footscray, so Footscray get the win. Pretty much box seat, you would say, to get into that top two spot and second spot there. North Melbourne not playing finals. Big game for Casey as well. Casey need to make sure they win. They moved then to 36 points to complete their season with the bye next week, and then it becomes a chasing pack. So if we go on sort of ladder positions, Casey will beat Frankston. They'll move to 36 points and finish there. If Box Hill beat the Northern Blues, they move to 34 points, and then we'll need the win next week in our broadcast game against Collingwood to get inside the top 8 and claim that last spot in the 8. The only way the Northern Blues can do it is if they beat Box Hill, Casey loses tomorrow, and then it goes down to the last round. And I think the last game too, actually. We'll come back to that in a moment because they finish off the season against Sandringham, so potentially a winnable game there. But that also relies on Box Hill falling again. But we won't worry about that for now. The other remaining games in round 20, we've got, and Sandringham and Port Melbourne. So for Port Melbourne, they with a win, might leapfrog Geelong and Werribee, but it may only be temporary, and it's Geelong the key one there to see whether they can finish in 5th or 6th spot. It doesn't much matter. It's more about how they match up with the other teams in the 8, because both of those finals are going to be at Port Melbourne anyway. Did that make sense?
We'll keep an eye on the live ladder as today plays out, and we'll be keeping another eye on it tomorrow as another 5 fixtures go all head-to-head. But on the VFL website, when you do click through to the ladder, you can actually go onto the ladder predictor and have your own fun with it, Peter. And
have you been doing that?
Machinations yourself. It's a very popular item on the VFL website in the Sports TG section. So I recommend anyone that wants to see how the finals are going to play out, very similar to the AFL ladder predictor. You can do the exact same with the hard jackets, Totally Workwear VFL. And it's just great that we're at the penultimate weekend and there's still so much that could play out, so much jostling for positions. The top 2 is really important as well. You get the home final instead of being forced to play at the neutral Adcon Stadium. That's a huge advantage as well. So
top 2, top 2, top 4, the bottom 4 of the top 8, the 2 remaining spots there, and then the rest. That's basically how it's playing out. And obviously after this weekend, we'll be very clear. It is interesting that the final round of the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL season has so many buys in it. So there are teams that are going to be finishing their campaigns, including Richmond today. But after what we saw last week, Adam, from Essendon, we saw it in the VFL game, we saw it in the Swiss Wellness VFL women's game, and then we saw it at Marvel Stadium. They got absolutely thrashed in all 3 of the games. It was unbelievable.
Not a good day to be a Bomber, no.
No. To see how they turn that around, because they've had a pretty good season. It was a close game when they played down at the Swinburne Centre at Punt Road. I think it was back in round 8, the 2 teams played down there, and it was a TV game. And it was 3 points in the end, and really Essendon coming with a rush towards the end, but at Richmond too strong, 10-10-70 to 10-7-67.
We called that on Hard Jacket, Totally Workwear VFL.
Oh, we did too. Sorry, I take that back. It wasn't a TV game. It was our broadcast game.
not for the first time, the lighting was a small issue at the Swinburne Centre because it got very, very dark very quickly, and Michael Pippicelli and I were struggling to catch the plays in the last couple of minutes, but we did get by there. That was a great game of football. So we've got a top 3 battle here today, a particularly important day for Essendon. Obviously 11 AFL listed Bombers, some team news of the AFL listed players from the original squad of 27. No Michael Hartley, no Ben McNeese in the Bombers lineup today.
Yeah, and Jake Hart's talking about the Richmond side. Obviously, Noah Bolter, Sydney Stack coming in. Jake Hart's not playing.
Ivan Soldo's the other one.
Ivan Soldo
well.
is into the side. I think Jake Hart's was named as an emergency, so we'll just keep an eye out for that. And a lot of the VFL listed players coming in. But I must admit, as I was prepping for the game this week, Adam, and I was going through, I had some old team sheets from the matches that we've done previously, and I went all the way back to, I think it was round 2. We watched the Tigers play. They played North Melbourne, and it was interesting. I was wheeling through the names. I didn't have to change too many. It gives you an idea of how solid this side has been. And yeah, you talk about the number of AFL listed players who are there in the lineup, but they've played regularly as well. So, Jacob Townsend, for mine, if there was going to be the stop the count now for the best and fairest at VFL level, he's got to be a shoo-in because he's been in the best pretty much every single week that he's played.
Well, he was reported. There was a game we did against Sandringham where he did get reported. So we might have to follow that one of his eligibility. We might have
club
to follow
level? Or are we talking Liston? Or both?
For the Liston. Or maybe both, I'm not sure.
Oh, maybe Liston. I mean, if
Anthony Stang, send us a text, let us know if Jacob Townsend's eligible.
And I wonder whether you're eligible to play at club level, though, to win the award.
Depends
on the
club.
rules.
Depends on the club.
Of course. But they just look such a settled lineup. And as I say, this final game, there's not results-wise a lot riding on it, there is plenty for these players to play for. Plenty. Because you have an injury tomorrow down at the MCG.
Yep.
And you could be in all sorts of strife. You need these players to come in. So they need to be firing. They need to be playing the structures. By the way, I know you're going to get an EDFL mention out about 20 billion times this afternoon because we are at your home ground. The ground is in immaculate condition for this time of the year. It gets a lot of footy through it.
Not so much footy, but definitely
training.
EDFL umpires do train on Windy Hill, and it's usually this broadcast side in front of the Reynolds stand that gets a lot of the traffic.
What we're looking at now?
This ground is actually open to the public 24/7. You get a lot of dog walkers and a lot of different traffic on the ground throughout the week, but it's held up beautifully. The centre wicket is in absolute pristine condition. We can see that on camera as we speak if you're watching us on vfl.com.au. We've had the coin toss.
Yeah, Aaron Heppel winning it for Essendon. They'll be kicking to the right of screen in this opening quarter, which is only a handful of minutes away.
What's particularly impressive about how this ground has held up, it actually on Saturday last week had 16 quarters of footy back to back played on this ground at local level, and that was in the wet, and it's held up beautifully 7 days after that. This ground does drain very well, but a perfect day for football. Not too windy as well, so been around the area today, Peter, watching different sporting events before today, and no wind whatsoever. So we have a perfect day for football at Windy Hill.
Yep, teams getting into their huddles. We're not too far away from this one. And as you mentioned, as we can see there, if you're watching on our video stream at the moment, crowd building up nicely. The Bombers playing over in Perth tonight, so a chance for the fans to get down and catch some action for the VFL side.
Just looking at Richmond's list as well. Good to see Callum Moore back in the lineup as well. Had a fairly long layoff with an ankle injury. I think last week was his first game back against the Northern Blues. That was a 44-point win for the Tigers over the Blues at the MCG as the two teams get ready to take position.
And remembering too, next week the game for Essendon's down at GMHBA Stadium. It's against Geelong. So get a win.
Top 8 battle, that.
Yeah. So get a win today, and we'll take you through all of it as it goes along this afternoon.
Couple of good VFL listed players out for the Tigers as well, given the abundance of available AFL listed players. Jacob Ballard, who I really rate at this level, he's not playing today. Lockie Street, Blake Brewer, the ex-Brisbane Lion. A couple of guys that have played some really good VFL footy for the Tigers. For Essendon, Nino Lazaro is one that is not lining up today. He was named in the original squad of 27.
Yeah, and really impressed with Riley Bowman last week. The ruckman had to carry a lot of the load. Here we go, round 20 underway. Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Live. And it's here at Windy Hill. It's a top 4 clash, Essendon and Richmond.
It's umpire Paul Rebishini with a very good bounce to get things underway. Bowman got jumped into by Noah Bolter starting in the ruck today for the Tigers. And a mark taken by Mosquito. The ball barely went 15, but mark is paid. Irving Mosquito, quiet against the Bulldogs last week, goes inside 50. Front of the Reynolds stand here, McIntosh with the tackle. We'll have a ball up and early inside 50 for the Bombers.
Yep, and they'll, I'm sure, there has been a lot said in the media about the Bombers' performance at AFL level, but it made its way down to VFL level 2 as we've got Sydney Stack getting his hands onto it for the first time this afternoon, but the ball's being coughed up. Here's Myers going around the body. It's not going to make the trip. Garth Wade keeping it in, did he? No, the boundary umpire was right beside him, said you're not going to con me into that, and we'll have it thrown in right next to the behind post for the Bombers, who are going to the right of your screen or radio dial if you're listening to us on SEN2 this afternoon.
It's the Napier Street end.
Or watching us on vfl.com.au. Next week we'll be at Box Hill and Collingwood. That potentially could be a big game for the Hawks as the ball's tossed back in. Deep into attack here for the Bombers. Bowman trying to get front spot there. Couldn't. Stack got the handball out. Now it's being pressed forward. Markov brought down the tackle right near the boundary line, and the umpire will say throw it in. As we said, probably the best conditions we've had for a couple of weeks actually, Adam, and it's sort of giving us that sense of hope that the season's about to turn and we are getting very much close to September. That's what we like here.
And an outdoor grand final as well.
Yes, down at Icon Park. Ball to the boundary line again. We will have it thrown in as we've gone a minute 45 in the game so far. And no score to either side here on Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Live this afternoon. Live from Windy Hill.
The only game in the VFL taking place today. Bolter snatched out of the ruck and sends a high one towards half forward. Moore was in battle against Guccione. It goes out of play near the Bowls Club here at Windy Hill. Boundary throw in. Very healthy crowd here. Well, here 2 weeks ago when the Bombers defeated Sandringham by 88 points. It was a game that coincided with the AFL Bombers taking on Port Adelaide at Marvel Stadium, and not as much of a crowd that day as you can imagine, but a very healthy crowd today. As the ball's hacked toward half forward for the Bombers once more. A bit of work to do there for Caulfield. Had to give the handball back. Now Egg-Malesi-Smith sends Richmond back towards centre wing, a 2-on-2, and Bauman's taken a very good mark on the outer side. In the absence of Sam Draper, he's had a lot more VFL time this year as Riley Bauman. Not a great kick for his captain. Hampel watches it go out of play. Boundary throw in near the scoreboard, which is not ticked over just yet. 3 minutes in on Hard Yakka. Totally Workwear VFL Live. It is first v fourth. As the umpire brings this back into play again. Bolter, the throwing seemed to favour him, but he did fumble at the crucial moment. Townsend's involved as well. He gets put into the deck, and it's not coming out. Another ball up.
You asked and you got a response. Jacob Townsend is eligible for everything. Got reported last year, not this year.
Okay,
Not suspended last year.
I thought I saw something in the Sandringham game. The ball's gone inside 50. Over the top, chance for Union. Has to deal with Beasley. Hawkins has scored it out of play in front of the hill. And a boundary throw in.
Keeping on the AFL scores today. 2 games, 14 plays 8. Carlton leading St Kilda. The Brisbane Lions Geelong game about to get underway up at the Gabba. No other Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL matches to be played today. Hocking, that's a really short throw in. He had to come forward there. Bolter was behind him, trying to get through Townsend, the player we're talking about, and he was pushed out, so he's going to get a free kick. Having Mosquito just a little bit crude there. And he'll take the free kick in the back pocket. It's pretty much played in Essendon's 50 over these past 4 minutes. The opening 4 minutes of the game. The kick going up the line, big pack of players. And no one could get through. Callum Moore going high. So ball to be tossed back in. And Bowman going to work with Bolter. Taps it down. Heppel coming through. Slipped the handball out. Now a chance for the Bombers. The kick goes inside 50. It's going to be turned over again. Boy, oh boy, they're getting it in plenty of times. Caulfield takes the mark. He wants to go on with it. Oh, this could come straight back again. It's a dangerous footy. No one can pick up clean possession. Chance they're coming through English. Just lost a handle on the footy, and it goes over the line again. Was it out in the full? No, the boundary umpire says it wasn't out in the full. Tynan comes in and says it was. But I bet you the boundary umpire will win out. That's what happens. Right near the scoreboard. 5 gone, no score, opening term.
Ball hugging this portion of the field at the moment. Umpire brings it in. Bolster's still in the ruck against Bowman. High ball. Not sure Igmalesi Smith was necessarily expecting it. Bagley. That's his hand passed out. Myers had a good day here 2 weeks ago. 39 touches against the Zebras. Heppel's kicking board. No mark taken for Begley. Umpire's going to call for a ball up. Still no score at Windy Hill. Two teams that we expect to feature prominently in September. Umpire throws it up. About 35 out from home for the Bombers. Townsend onto the right he goes. It's another high ball. Coleman Jones presents and takes a good mark, but he's at right half back where a lot of the play has been so far today. The Richmond big man goes towards half forward. Moore just got caught behind there. Naish, good handball over the top. Weller tried to get the ball moving forward. It bounced away from Menadue. The tackle on Tynan was good. Now Long fumbles. Plenty of yellow and black around him. Had to get rid of it. Menadue regains for the Tigers. Hand passes inside 50 and it works out. Butler around the corner. 2 Bombers against 1 Tiger. Trying to trap it at ground level there was Guccione. Finally the ball's cleared out. Igmalesi Smith though takes the mark on centre wing. It is a game of kick to kick at the moment. His kicking board is good for Bolter.
Yep, Bolter right in the middle of Windy Hill. Looks up and sees very congested 50 in front of him. Told to get on with it by the umpire. So he goes with a long ball, looking for the tall timber. Moore couldn't take the mark. Ball off hands, trying to find his way through Townsend. The kick was smothered. And now we've got another stalemate. Butler in there, also working with Ridley. And the umpire will throw the ball up deep into attack for the Tigers. The first foray forward, 7 minutes into the opening term. No score on the board for either team. Bolter, Bowman, doing the work. Tynan picked it up, tackled, ridden into the ground by Bolter, not going anywhere. Ball not released, the umpire will throw it up again. Getting into position again. Bolter, he jumped a little bit too high, so Bowman had a clean run at it. Tynan gets hands to it again. It's pushing towards the boundary line. There's a free kick, and it's going the way of the Bombers. It will go to Tynan, last line of defence.
The kick is interesting and forced Bowman to dive for it, but he did well to get the hand pass out, and the Bombers are now out of danger. Although Myers, that's a brilliant smother. Well gained by Stack. Inside 50, go to Tigers once more. No mark was taken. Butler tried to get the front and centre. Tynan's involved as well for Essendon. Wrapped up by Dan Butler, and we have a ball up. Good hot footy at the moment. All that's lacking is a bit of scoring. Ball to be thrown up. A couple of inside 50s for each team now. Ridley, it eluded him. Chance for Butler if he can pick up and snap. The kick didn't have any penetration though. And the Bombers via Day. The 23rd man goes toward the outer side once more. Laverty had a lot to do. Finally the ball was won back by Igmalesi Smith. Weller flew, no mark taken. Longer. Hand pass turned over. High ball now by Fraser, and in the right spot was Houlihan. Takes the relieving mark for Essendon.
Fraser Turner you're talking about there.
2 last names.
No, we got there in the end. Anyway, the kick coming out from half-back. Oh, big fly from Laverty. Couldn't drag it to ground, but been picked up by Mosquito. His kick across the ground is a good one. He had to Bagley, who was forced to fist the ball in the end. Now down to Union. They've got a chance here, but plenty of numbers for the Tigers. Naish picking it up. Good hands, close quarters. Off to Garthwaite, off to Igmalesi Smith, who balks around an opponent. His kick going short, and it's a good one. Weller takes the mark. Back into this Tigers VFL lineup. He wants to play on. Instead, he's going to have to go short. And they're going to have to do this by short kick as Moore picks it up. Slowing things down. We've gone 9 minutes in this opening quarter and still no score on the board. The kick inside the 50. Markov front position, not paid the mark. And plenty of hands. I reckon they could make claims to that. And we'll have it thrown up. Beautiful day for footy, and you can see the spectators on that side of the ground, or if you're listening to us, take our word for it. There are a lot of spectators enjoying the sunshine. It's been a while.
Looking into the sun though, which
yeah, but it's a grassed area over there, so it's nice. Have a picnic, and the kids can run around.
I don't like shielding my eyes while I'm watching the footy, Peter. Each to their own, I say. Long. Hand pass out for Unit. Had the pressure coming via Camden McIntosh. The Bombers do work it out though. Minot's kick to the wing. Laverty takes the mark on centre wing. One of many local boys in this Essendon lineup.
Where would he be from?
The Keilor Football Club.
What league do they play in?
The EDFL. Houlihan. His kick goes inside 50 Unit. Another one of those EDFL boys outmarked this time by Ryan Garthwaite. Here's a Murray Bushranger.
I've opened the door, haven't I?
Let's go for the Bush. He's a reference.
There's Garthwaite. Safe hands inside defensive 50 for the Tigers. His ball up towards centre wing. Might have been a little bit of a push out there, Coleman Jones. Instead, not paid, so he has to go back in and get the footy. There's a bit of a scramble here. Smith for the Bombers, just trying to shield and do a bit of shepherding work, but the ball's right near the boundary line, so it wasn't effective at all. It goes over, we'll have it thrown in. So we wait for the boundary umpire on the far side. 11 minutes gone, no score in this opening quarter. Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Live. Bowman working with Coleman Jones. Bowman taken off the footy, but the Bombers still have possession. Handball out. Hairpool. Handballs over the top and trying to find players in space. Dixon is one of those. He can steady kick inside the 50. Going for the fly was Laverty. Off the pack. Plenty of numbers. Again here for the Tigers. Egan Smith, good kick, finds Townsend. And now they can work through the middle of the ground because it's really started to open up. A long ball from Menadue. A high ball inside the 50 is a good one. Excellent transfer of the footy. And that's what can happen when you cut off. And Noah Bolter, who spent time in the ruck early on, has gone forward and he'll line up and have a shot, 20 out. Really quick transfer of the ball by the Tigers.
He really impressed at the combine in his draft year. Very good athlete, very tall player.
So when he comes pretty much directly in front of, he said the breeze down today at Windy Hill. The kick from 25 in reality. And he's put it through. First on the board for the Tigers. First on the board for the game. One straight 6 Richmond, Essendon, no score. 12 gone first quarter. Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Live today here at Windy Hill.
Stands at 194 and 100 kilos as well. He's a big man, Noah Bolter. Another one from around here. And it's a good start for the Tigers. They get the first goal. It was a long time coming. Both sides penetrating 50 a couple of times.
Go around the grounds in a moment as well.
Now his second VFL goal for the season, Noah Bolter.
Brisbane Lions by a point, 2 minutes into the first quarter, 1 play 0, and Saints by 4, 27 into the first, down the road.
We're back in the middle here at Windy Hill. That bounce is going to favour Bowman. Coleman Jones came late. Myers tried to soccer off the ground. It didn't go far. English was under pressure. He's in the headwear today. Tynan out there in the headwear for the Bombers as well. And we'll have the ball up. We're still inside the centre square. Nice crowd building around Windy Hill. Coleman Jones wins the tap down. Good tackling pressure though. Make sure the ball is not coming out. Collier Dawkins, the man that hands it back to umpire Luke Porter. Ball thrown up. Bouncing ball, Bowman tried to just hack it forward, and it is effective in the end. Chance here for the Bombers. Just a wayward handball there by Day. Beasley gets it back. High ball. Does Miller keep it in play? Keeps it in front of him, and it spills out. Boundary throw in.
Yeah, Martin, Roger, Luke Porter and Paul Rebashini are our field umpires for today.
Just forward of centre wing here for the Tigers. Dan Jordan coaching from the ground level as he always does. That's a big fist by Bowman. It's gained a good 25 metres. Does Hempel keep it in play? Not sure he did. Was there a whistle? Maybe he did keep it in play. McIntosh regains. Garthwaite. The awkward kicking action. Looking to switch. A dangerous ball. Bounces in front of Long. He's engaged in a one-on-one here with Menadue, and he puts him into the turf at Windy Hill.
Gee.
And a ball up just outside 50.
And a bit of a scuffle as well, Adam, right here on the 50. Tom Jock getting involved for the Bombers. Menadue, Butler in there. Umpire says, I'm just going to throw this ball up and you can have it all to yourselves. The ball went past Jock in the end. Long sleeves here from Marshall for the Bombers, the first gamer today. But it falls into the hands of Sydney Stack. Grabbed by one arm, still managed to get the kick away, but a turnover, and Ridley takes the mark. On centre wing, on our broadcast side, goes short to Jock, who's going to go further afield into the middle of the ground, working laterally, and finds Guccione, who goes even further. So the switch is on. Sybil takes it. Now the long kick inside the 50. They fly! Great mark! Dear oh dear, they've taken their time to just build it up. They were patient. Laverty takes the mark, and he will line up and have a shot, 25 out. As we see again on our replay, there were 2 Tiger players in that pack, but the one Bomber getting the job done. And for Laverty, the 11 goals this season out of 4 games, so that's not bad going. When he comes down to this level,
11-4 as well, good conversion rate.
He is potent. In he comes, directly in front. Chance at the first for the Bombers. And he's kicked it. So the Bombers on the board, 1 straight 6 apiece. We played 16 minutes in the opening quarter. Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL live today. I was trying to say 1 straight 6 each of 2. Notice Peter Landy was on the front bar. This will be one of his famous sayings. 1 straight 6 each of 2.
It'll go down as a famous front bar interview. That was remarkable television. Jayden Laverty, he's one of those players that just sort of yo-yos between the AFL and VFL sides. He's been held over as an emergency a couple of times. Actually, last week, or the week before when we were last here on VFL Live for the Sandringham game, arrived at quarter time, so he was held over from the AFL game. He was actually doing his warm-ups here at Windy Hill during the quarter time break. Had rushed back here from Marvel Stadium and played the rest of the day from there. Umpire to put it back down in the middle. It's good bouncing conditions today, and that was as perfect as you can get. Downfield umpires paid a free kick for holding.
Holding, yep.
Richmond's weight. Sydney Stack to claim the free kick. The man on the mark is Heath Hocking, right in the circles. As dead centre as you can get. Interesting kick by Stack. It's okay though. Menadue takes the mark. Boy out of Spotswood goes inside 50 now. The Moore's offered by Moore. The lead was just cut off by Tom Jock, and he got in the way. It goes out of bounds for a boundary throw in inside 50, right forward pocket. 1 straight 6 apiece. Ball to be thrown back in.
Give you some scores around the ground shortly. It is quarter time down the road. St Kilda by 5, 21 playing 16, and 5-point lead to Geelong, early stages opening quarter, the Gabba.
Intercept mark by Morris. Just forward of true centre wing for Richmond, Steve Morris. Throws it onto the right boot. It's a high ball inside 50. Couple flew. Sibbled one of them. And then English is thrown into the turf. Umpire comes steaming in. A couple of afters once more.
Yeah, this is kind of fire that you want to see from the Bombers after last week's performance.
We have got a free kick, so that might have been a dangerous tackle potentially.
Maybe not that sort of aggression.
Luke English is going to have a shot on goal here. Ragdolled into the turf. I suspect that was a dangerous tackle. That was paid in Richmond's favour. 3 goals, 5 for the season in front of the sticks for Luke English. It's a careful approach, 45-degree angle, maybe just beyond 40. Goal umpire watches it sail over his cap, and the Tigers get their second. 2 straight 12, Essendon 1 straight 6 as we approach time on in the opening term.
Yeah, great transfer of the ball again. I mean, you see these sides, in particular the AFL standalone sides, how they play with the same structures. They can just move the ball so quickly, and it was a bit of ill discipline from the Bombers, but you want to see that fire from them, just not to give away free kicks. Some
early stat leaders thanks to the VFL app, 7 each for Aaron Heppel and David Myers for Richmond. The goal kicker just then, Luke English, has 6, and Sydney Stack has 6 as well.
Back in the middle we go. Jock waits for the footy. Coleman Jones as well. A deliberate approach for the umpire. bounced pretty good. Favoured Coleman Jones. Just couldn't get clean purchase on it. Ball in the middle. Players descending on it. No one going anywhere, and the umpire will throw it up.
Riley Bowman dominating the ruck battle at the moment. 12 hit-outs. Noel Bolter has 5. Jones 3. So combined, it's 12-8 in favour of Bowman over all of Richmond.
As we wait now, Collier Dawkins coming through is held up in the tackle. The players going without it. Nice work there from Dixon just to heave the ball out. It's gone back inside the 50. It's a deep ball. Garthwaite's got to go back and pick it up right near the boundary line. He goes over. In the end, that worked out as a good kick because it's right near the behind post in an attacking position for the Bombers. Napier Street end of the ground. A good smattering of fans out on that grassed area as well as the ball's tossed back in. And it's picked up by Coleman Jones, and Steve Morris copped one high, and he's going to take a free kick in the back pocket.
Right in the field of view of the umpire there.
Yep, and his kick is going to go wide towards our broadcast side and straight to Tynan. Oh, a couple of Bombers spoiled each other in the end. They needed to have the talk. It wasn't there. Union and Tynan. Now they have to combine to lay the tackle. It's tying the footy. All's well that ends well potentially here for the Bombers. But no one was talking to anyone, and that was the problem. It's Townsend, the player, who was brought down. And Tynan's kick inside the 50. It goes over the head there of Hocking. Ball to ground. No one can get clear. And the umpire's going to come in and intervene here. Leslie Smith getting out of the way for Richmond. Chance deep into attack here for the Bombers, who trail by a goal. And it was Coleman Jones who picked it up, and from the ruck contest sent the Tigers outside 50. Weaving his way through was Stack. Shot the handball out, turned over. Mosquito getting in the way. D gets the handball received. Off there to Heppel, who kicking the ball deep inside the 50. And it's been turned over again. Caulfield takes the mark for the Tigers.
He was in a rush, and the kick does find Silvestro, but not before he runs out of real estate. Boundary throw in beyond 50. Near the leisure centre. Good game of football, this one. Two teams feeling each other out. 3 goals kick combined. Coleman Jones is in front of Jock. Just grabbed it out of the ruck, and Turner watches it go out of play once more. So Essendon trainer heading out toward Danny Union or potentially Jake
Keep
Long.
an eye on it.
There is a trainer out there at the moment.
Yeah, but he's going to get in the way of the play, so
Yeah, just behind play here. Minot's little chip inside 50 over the head of Hawking. No mark taken. Watch out, Irving Mosquitoes in the region here. Overran the ball though. And the umpire says holding the ball.
Yeah, pick it at the bottom of that pack too.
Shot on goal coming up for the Bombers, and again
more push and shove, and there we go
Irving
here.
Mosquito and Steve Morris. Heath Hocking involved. A couple of former...
Begley, don't want to give it a free kick away here. Garthwaite just trying to separate a couple. Begley not taking a backward step. Hocking getting involved as well. Right near the boundary line too. It continues the push and shove. Leslie Smith trying to break things up. Garthwaite, bit of holding on going on in there. The umpire, what's going to happen here? They're going to wait because the umpire's...
Well, Bagley's about to have his shot. He's running in.
And that clears the fight. Well, the push and shove wasn't really a fight.
Mark Bagley's kick, it was off the side of the boot. Pretty badly out of bounds on the full.
And this will clear the congestion, Adam.
Still no behinds in this game. It's 2-1 in favour of the Tigers.
So Turner goes with a long kick for the Tigers, deep outside the 50. Oh, big grab. Nicely done. Coleman Jones coming through. Here goes to Butler. Just outside the 50 on our broadcast side, near the boundary. Looks up for the Tigers. Half back. A goal in it in favour of Richmond. 23 and a half gone. Low scorer this one in bright sunny conditions. The kick going forward towards centre wing, and D takes the uncontested mark and sets the Bombers running. It ends up with Union. They work through the middle of the ground. Nicely picked up. Marshall goes in short, finds Mosquito, who wants to get on with it in the middle of the ground. A deep kick inside the 50, and it beats the pack. Caulfield tracking it to the line. We'll have it thrown in right next to that behind post again. We're talking about spots on the ground where the ball has been more often than not the heat map. It's been right there, and Bagley just getting involved in a bit of push and shove as well. Pickett there as well for the Tigers. It's a bit combustible, this game. Bowman back into the ruck for the Bombers, just tapping the ball forwards, and we've got another ball held up. The umpire will throw it up. Deep into attack here for Essendon. 24 and a half gone. this first term. Ruckman nominate, Bolter, Bowman. Split it between them. Ball spilling to ground. Plenty of numbers here for the Bombers. Myers goes around the body, kicks the goal. Finally, the Bombers find some space inside 50 and we're back square. 2 straight 12. And we've gone 25 minutes in this opening quarter. Entertaining contest, this one, on Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Live.
He had a day out 2 weeks ago in his last VFL start here at Winter Hill against Sandringham. David Myers got 39 touches that day. He's already up to 8 today. That has him equal with his captain, Aaron Heppel. The leading ball getter for the Tigers is Sydney Stack with 7.
St Kilda by 11 points around the grounds, 2 into the second quarter against the Blues. Geelong by 5, 14 into the first up at the Gabba against the Lions.
If you're watching us on VFL.com.au or listening to us on SEN2 and you do want to keep an eye on the live stats, just download the official VFL app. Live stats provided by Champion Data for every game from siren to siren. You'll be able to get those numbers coming through. Minot, who's had a fair bit of it himself early, goes towards half forward, wanted Bagley, but getting in the way. Good mark taken by Pickett.
And 50.
And we're going for a walk.
Bagley didn't want to get back on the mark.
So Marlon Pickett's going to be brought to about right half forward. The mark's going to be set right at the corner of the square. That's where Jordan Houlihan stands the mark. So Marlon Pickett, mid-season draft pick, straight into Houlihan. Ball trickling toward the boundary line. Morris, good tap to keep it alive. Pickett's hand pass. Naish had to ride the bump. Morris, inside quarters, finally gets his kick inside 50. It's a high ball. Moore got rid of his man. Couldn't take the mark though. Menadue snapped. Maybe friendly fire there. I reckon Moore smothered the Menadue snap accidentally. D. Clearing ball. He's against his old side today, Matt D. Bouncing ball here between wing and half forward. For the Tigers, Collier Dawkins, hand pass off. It's a hot footy right now. Ball eventually comes out to Caulfield. Right ball down the line. It's a bad kick though.
It's Marshall playing his first game to date for the Bombers.
In the long sleeves in front of the Bowls Club.
And we'll look to switch play. His kick going to the top of the defensive goal square, and that's okay because Ridley takes the mark. His kick further afield. Oh, does not hit the target. Indeed, he's just been taken off the footy. Now an opportunity for the Tigers, and they will get a free kick as well. That was just too high from Guccione. And it means that we'll have a shot at goal for Dan Butler. Just taking a little while to get up, get to his feet. But he will have the shot from just on the paint of 50. Plenty of goal face to look at. Pretty much right behind this kick. Chance to put the Tigers back in front. 27.5 into the first quarter here at Windy Hill. Taking plenty of time too. Dan Butler, the 14 goals out of the 11 games this season. And he'll get the hurry up from the umpire shortly. He starts the run up. Just on the paint of 50 or just outside it. In he comes, Butler. The kick. Not going to make the distance. They got to fly. We got one. Bolter again. And he had the front position in the end. Everyone just cleared out. He just came forward and took the mark. So no, Bolter, top of the goal square, should put this one through for his second. Yeah, it was just a little wayward there from Dan Butler. Not making the distance, and Bolter just the front position. Take the strong mark. He comes in, got a big run up too, Noah Bolter. Steps in, kicks the goal. So they move to 3 straight 18, playing 2 straight 12, 28.5 gone in this opening quarter. Here on Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Live, Bolter's second of the afternoon. And plenty of focus on this game because this is the only one in the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL today. St Kilda by a couple of goals over Carlton, 6 into the second there, and Geelong by 5 points up at the Gabba, 18 minutes into the first quarter there.
Noel Bolter, Calder Cannons product, second-year Tiger. It's 3 goals to 2. No behinds. As we approach quarter time, 29 minutes have ticked by here.
Do you think we'll hear the siren?
For those playing along at home, our effects mic is right by the siren here at Windsor Hill, so Just pre-warning you now, it's going to come through loud and clear when the siren does sound, as we have the secondary ball up. Danny Union has to give it back to the umpire. Coleman Jones won the tap. Myers, though, his kick's smothered. Minot had to go back and fetch. Fraser couldn't stick the tackle. In fact, Turner couldn't stick the tackle. Done it again, Peter. Bagley. Hand pass missed Ridley. Now McIntosh. He goes into the ground. Good tackle by Ridley. Still Tigers maintain possession. Pickett's little kick toward the wing. Well trapped by Coleman Jones. Markov put into the deck by Matt D. And the umpire crosses his arms. Right on centre wing. Brewster Street side of the ground here. Coleman Jones to the advantage of English, but couldn't control it. Had Union for company all along. English does well. A long-range handball. Markov missed McIntosh initially. Drew the Bombers back into the play. Dixon. Is he ripped off it illegally by Butler? He is. Do the Bombers have a chance to get one more goal and draw level by quarter time?
Well, Laverty's the deep option. If he can get there. Ball's going to go in the middle of the ground instead. It doesn't hit its required target. Union's now forced to lay the tackle. Managed to get the handball out long. Was tackled one-handed across to Marshall. Still in the middle of Windy Hill. They can't get away. And now the chance. Dixon works it across to Tynan. A high ball, just a shallow 50 this time for the Bombers. Morris gets control of the footy, and that is quarter time here at Windy Hill. It's a low-scoring game, but it's an entertaining one as well. As we just keep an eye on the players just to see if there's any more push and shove. I don't think there will be. It's 3-2. 3 straight 18 Richmond, Essendon 2 straight 12. We've played a 30.5-minute quarter. Or maybe just a little bit of niggle there. The teams separating themselves out, and Garthwaite just coming through. Get out of my way. I need to get to my huddle. And the teams have separated now. Let's take a look. Well, the highlights you're watching on our VFL.com.au stream. If you're listening to us, we'll take you through the goal kickers. 2 goals to Noah Bolter and single to Luke English. And for the Bombers, Myers and Laverty, the single goal kickers for the Essendon Football Club. Good crowd making their way out onto Windy Hill. Some of you listening as coaches, others will be having a bit of kick to kick. But they're going to have a good day in the sunshine. Highlights continuing on our video stream. But we're going to take a break and we'll be back with plenty more. The second quarter action of this exciting game. It's Richmond 3 straight 18, Essendon 2 straight 12. This is Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Live.
Nature's an amazing place. It's a perfect balancing act, thriving with life. Some of which we don't even see. Like the billions of microorganisms that help keep nature in balance. At Swiss, the quest continues.
At Totally Workwear, we kit out the brickies, the chippies, the foremen, the tradies. Did we say foremen? They're not all men, some are ladies. Yeah. Work in an office, retail, healthcare, hospitality. Here's where you'll find all your workwear. Yeah, totally. Totally Workwear have got you covered with the best brands, best value and best service. Totally Workwear. Get what you want and get back to work. Totally Workwear.
For club interviews and all the news from the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL and Swiss Wellness VFL Women's, don't miss the VFL Hour during the Sporting Capital with Jack Heverin, Tuesdays from 9 p.m. on 1116 SEN.
But it's your job. You'll be fine. Mate, just because everybody seems like they're doing it doesn't actually mean that they are doing it.
Help your kids understand that betting and sport don't have to go together.
The ads don't always tell you the risks, yeah?
Before you have the talk, check lovethegame.vic.gov.au. Authorised by VRGF Melbourne.
Don't miss a moment of the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Find SEN2 on your digital radio today for live coverage of the match of the round. The Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Live on SEN2 DAB+.
I'm a digital radio. To help explain why it's time to update your old radio, with me is my friend Digital TV.
Hi.
Where you go?
Remember when us TVs went digital?
Everyone does. Get to the point.
Suddenly you got lots more channels for free.
Yes.
Well, it's the same with digital digital radio.
When you buy a digital radio, you can get all your favourite stations plus up to 30 extra ones, playing all kinds of music, live sport and talk.
That's pretty great.
It's really great.
All you have to do is head into your nearest retailer
Or check out digitalradioplus.com.au
and upgrade to digital.
Your Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL club needs you to show your support. Buying a VFL club membership helps support your local team and provides great discounts and match access. The VFL gives you the chance to get in the coaches' huddle and enjoy kick-to-kick on the field, whilst kids under 15 get in free. Get involved in the VFL this season. Head to vfl.com.au/membership to find out what membership offers are available at your club in 2019.
Love your sport? Then you'll love SEN.
Stuart Appleby has come from 7 strokes behind.
And you'll find it on digital radio. Simply scroll to SEN, Melbourne's home of sport.
Streaming live through vfl.com.au. This is VFL Live.
And it is quarter time here at Windy Hill in Essendon. 2 straight 12, the Bombers trailing the Tigers 3 straight 18, and around the grounds in the AFL. We've got a 17-point lead to St Kilda, 6-4-40, leading the Blues 2-3-15. Around 22 action in the AFL. And we'll keep you up to date with that score, but also the battle of top 2. We've got Geelong 2-2-14, leading Brisbane 1-8. 26 minutes gone in that opening quarter. So a goal in favour of the away team up there at the Gabba. Let's get the stats, Adam Sarakoglu, to quarter time in this tight contest.
Let's start with the Bombers. 9 touches for David Myers, 8 for Aaron Hampel, 6 for Riley Bowman, the young VFL listed ruckman, and Dixon has 6 as well. Jordan Houlihan, Jake Long, Trent Minot and Tynan all have 5 for the Bombers. For Richmond, Luke English has a goal and 8 touches to his name, throwing 2 tackles as well. Sydney Stack also has 8 touches, 7 for Patrick Naish. Derek Ebenlesi Smith has 6, and then 5 each to Butler, Coleman Jones, Garthwaite and Pickett.
So they are the stats. The Essendon huddle is broken up. Richmond still in a tight huddle. Let's go to the match stats, Adam.
Inside 50 count, fairly high for both sides, but 16-10 in favour of the Tigers in that opening term. Maybe they've got a slight advantage. They had a slight advantage kicking left of screen, left of dial, the Essendon Primary School end of the ground. We'll see if the Bombers can square that up in the second term. 16-17 marks Essendon's favour, kicks 45-44. It's very even, Peter, across the board. They're actually equal for disposals total, kicks, handballs combined. Both teams are exactly equal there. Hitouts 16-13 in favour of the Bombers. Riley Bowman accounting for a lot of those as well. So I'm not surprised by that. A lot of even stats team-wise in this game so far. I think that's reflective of the quarter we saw. So the Richmond side has broken up their huddle in Swiss Wellness VFL Women's today. Wins for the Bombers over the Pies down at Victoria Park, 49-22. The Western Bulldogs defeated Richmond down at the Swinburne Centre, 63-20, and a win for the Blues over the Falcons, 29-21. Round 15 action there. That season really tightening up as they head towards their final series, which will run the same sort of timings as the VFL men's competition. So we'll be going back-to-back at Icon Park on September 22, the Swiss Wellness VFL Women's Grand Final, to be followed by the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Grand Final, both at Icon Park, Sunday, September 22. And we hope, Peter, we get a day as good as this.
Oh, it'll be sensational. If it does, we'll get a big crowd as well. So, here we go. Quarter number 2 to get underway. 3 straight 18, Richmond 2 straight 12, Essendon. A goal in it. Low score up, but a good contest. And a rebound in the middle. I'll save you having to say that. I'll save you having to do everything else.
My point's been made well clear all year here on Hard Yakka.
Yes, you have.
Workwear VFL.
Don't think we need to hear it again. We get your point.
I just want to mention, you were the one that mentioned how many times I get in my employer today. Not me, you. Anyway, so English, I just got dead air, that's fine. Myers wrapped up.
That's what happens when you have the call.
A lot of players around this ball at the moment. Houlihan jumped for it and couldn't get it. English, he fumbled as well. Silvestro now comes in with the tackle. Another high-quality VFL listed player for the Tigers, Tom Silvestro. We have a ball up. 6 goals, averaging 13.6 touches a game. It's Tom Silvestro from the ball up. Tigers looking to penetrate forward 50. McIntosh does so. No mark taken. It was a low ball. Oleg Markov couldn't do much with it in the end. Ridley, the chip over the top is okay for his captain, Aaron Heppel.
Yeah, at half-back on that outer side. Just trying to find someone in front of him. So he goes up the line. Well, Laverty was caught out. He was 3 back in the end. Picked up by Bolter of the Tigers. He's going to go short, and that ball's okay. Collier Dawkins wants to get the ball moving quickly, and does. Now it goes inside the 50. No mark taken by Moore. Might have been held by the arm. Looking to release here, the Bombers. Dangerous. Guccione trying to get through traffic. Shot the handball out to no one in particular. It's turned over. Townsend goes with a high ball inside the 50. Silvestro weighted down. No one can get cleared. The big ruckman coming through, Coleman Jones, but it's been picked up by Tynan of the Bombers, who just hurls it on the boot, turns it over, and McIntosh takes the mark. He was way too far out to score, but he can set it up here. Goes one way, then the other, and then goes short. Leslie Smith has it. Not really any closer to goal. Actually went laterally. Well, there's a lot of Tiger defenders just pointing, saying go long, deep into the pocket. Well, that's why. Because that's a beautiful mark. No, it's not going to be paid. Yes, it is. Yeah, to Coleman Jones, who's the player who's coming forward there.
2 bites of the cherry there. Actually fumbled the first attempt, but able to, he almost fell down with the ball and able to grab it right before it hits the turf. We get a look at it here. There's the first grab, and then just managed to scoop it up in time.
If you're watching on our live stream, he's going to do the J-curve. He does, bending it back. Oh, it's a beauty. Goal number 9 for the season for Callum Coleman-Jones. The first of this second quarter. And it's 4 straight 24 Richmond, Essendon 2 straight 12. 3 minutes gone in the second quarter. Hard Jacket Totally Workwear VFL Live today. Next week will be at Box Hill to finish off the home and away season. Box Hill versus Collingwood.
We went goal for goal in the first term. That's the first time anyone's kicked back-to-back goals today. Richmond now have doubled their lead. Still no behinds. A blemish-free day so far. The spiritual home of the Essendon Football Club. Of course, well before my day, Peter, this entire arena was surrounded by grandstands. I wouldn't know a thing about that, but I'm told, I've gone through the history books, and yes, this was a cathedral for football here in the Essendon area back in the day. And good to see the VFL Bombers still representing at the spiritual home. We are back in the middle. Myers pounced on by 2 Tigers at least, if not a third, and it is holding the ball. Free kick to be taken by Jacob Townsend. 2017 Liston Trophy winner. He'll go into attack. Can't confirm he is eligible. Was reported against Sandringham earlier this year, but all clear. As we go now through Minot. Interesting handball. It's a dangerous situation here. They get another goal here to Tigers and they'll be away. And Essendon will have a headache or two. Ball up inside 50. Tigers in attack, leading by 2 goals to 4. Tried to go off the ground there, did Myers. Long, did he have it? Suspect he didn't. Silvestro tackled him without Long holding the ball, so a free kick coming back for the young Bomber inside defensive 50.
Yeah, no advantage paid there, so the ball has to come all the way back. So Long's trying to set it up here. The play sort of set up in front of him. Sibbald is the short option. That's where he goes first. The shot over the grandstand on our broadcast side. Still at half back. His kick up towards centre wing. It's a long ball. Not really going to favour anyone in particular. It was Leslie Smith who got hands to it, but it's been turned over, and Mosquito's got the ball. He kicks inside the 50 without looking, and Garthwaite, he spotted him. And it's turned over. A defensive mark taken, and Garthwaite goes across the ground looking for Markov. Did he go too far? In the end, he did. That kick was travelling, and now Matt D will take the free kick right near the boundary line inside 50. He's assessing options. He wants to go the short one. That's covered. He goes there anyway into the pocket. Garthwaite, good fist away from Bagley. And we'll have it thrown in. About 15 metres around from the Essendon goal. They're trailing by 2 goals. It's 4 straight 24 Richmond. Essendon 2 straight 12. Have played 6 minutes in this second quarter.
Throw in by the Essendon Primary School. Well-populated little hill there. Well, a lot of our spectators, Peter, shielding their eyes from the sun, which I'm sure doesn't provide the best viewing experience, but
doesn't matter.
Each to their own. Boundary throw in. Get that vitamin D in, especially this time of year when we aren't always blessed with days as good as this. Umpire to throw it in once more. Bowman pushed out of it by Coleman Jones, then got the double fist, but down to the wrong man. Laverty, they don't argue, but his kick was smothered. Myers had a good opening term, 8 touches for him. Minot, dangerous handball for Jock, does well eventually. The ball is fed out, and a deft little pass there by Marshall finds Laguda. Too far out to score though, Bruno Laguda over the top. Now Irving Mosquito can have a shot at goal. Surely got to go goals here, Irving. The human highlight reel, he's kicked 6 goals for the season. A couple of those have been absolute pearlers right here on Hard Jacket Totally Workwear VFL Live. I don't have the number in front of me, but I doubt many of those goals have been from the set shot, Peter.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Irving Mosquito, second week back. 45-degree angle. This will peg the margin back to 6 points. Left foot's on the way, and it's straight. 7 goals straight combined at Windy Hill. The third one on the board now for the Bombers. 3 straight 18. Richmond 4 straight 24. 7.5 gone in this second term. In a standalone Saturday fixture of Hard Jacket Totally Workwear VFL Live.
Yeah, and the traditional rivals, the crowd getting behind it as well. And it's built up nicely, as Adam said, through that opening quarter. But Mosquito pretty composed as he picked through that footy. And for the Bombers, important one, because as you mentioned earlier in this second quarter in the call, Adam, the Tigers managed to string 3 or 4 together. It would have made things tricky for the Bombers, but they are very much in this contest. And it's a very interesting encounter. Ball back in the middle. Away we go again. Bowman going to work with Bolter. Split it between them. The ball spills free. No one can get clean hands to it. It's like a cake of soap, even though it's a dry day. Eventually it fell, and now the kick going short, and it's being marked from Myers for the Bombers. It was nice work there by Day, the 23rd player. Good composure, just lowered the eyes and kicked it straight to centre half forward.
Myers has brought his own share in today, Peter. This is disposal number 13 coming up, and that will put him 4 clear of the next best on the grounds, which is a 3-way tie between Heppel, English and Stack.
Well, he has the goal to his name as well. He'll be kicking from outside the 50. Man on the mark is in between the 50 and the centre square line. This is a big kick. It's got the trip, but not the accuracy. Just misses to the right. First blemish for the day. 3-1-19. Essendon, Richmond 4 straight 24. 9 gone in the second quarter. Hard Jacket Totally Workwear VFL Live. Ball comes in. Beasley picks it up, and now a long kick getting up towards centre wing, Adam.
Camden McIntosh, and that's a big fist over the top by Ridley. It goes over the line. Boundary throw in right by the Richmond interchange gate. Around the grounds of Peter Mercado.
6-4-40 St Kilda leading Carlton 5-5-35. They've gone 26 minutes into the second there, and Lions by a point. 2-3-15 leading Geelong. 2-2-14. 3 minutes into the second.
Bolter in the ruck there against Bowman. An umpire downfield has spotted something. Free kick advantage paid for the Bombers. Begley goes inside 50. Was looking for Laverty. No mark taken. Ground level ball here. Good tackle, McIntosh. Not sure why not dispose of it legally. Umpire lets it all go. Now a chance here. Stack. Hand pass was intended for Garthwaite. He's brought down straight away. Strong tackle there by Matt Day. And we have a ball up. Matt Day. He's on debut from Blackburn. 23rd man tonight. Blackburn in the Eastern Football League. Umpire to throw it up. Left full pocket. Bombers looking for another goal. Can draw level. Danny Unit. Handball just missed. Hocking initially. Had to reel it back in, and that opened himself up to the tackle. It spills over the line now. Another boundary throw in, as Dan Butler's going to make way for Connor Menadue on the Richmond bench.
And that straight boundary, it's the only sort of part of the ground that has the straight boundary.
The outer wing's pretty straight as well across centre wing.
Still a little bit of curve. That's a straight line. Ball tossed back in. Nice picked up by Bolter. Just tacked it onto the boot, but it went straight to Tynan on centre wing. Shot the handball out before he was tackled by Townsend. Come racing through. Oh, it was a sharp pickup. He got it across there nicely to Henderson. The kick back in the middle of the ground. Henderson picked it back up. Now the player on the ground, Menadue, picks it up. Goes short, finds English. He takes the mark directly in front. And he will line up and have a shot from about 25 outs.
It's a good goal in the opening term.
Yeah, but it was the work there of the 23rd player, Bailey Henderson. And the Tigers, the follow-up work was sensational. Got it across to Menadue, was on 50, just put the ball in short. And English was coming forward, did a good job of that. Directly in front. Chance at the 5th for the Tigers. And he kicks from about 35 and he misses. First blemish for Richmond. A goal in it. 4-1 plays 3-1. Richmond leading. 11 and a half gone in the second quarter here on Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Live. One match to come in the home and away season. It'll be at Box Hill next week for us as we've got a kick in and it's been smothered and the ball's going to be locked in. Oleg Markov, an excellent job by him to just smother that ball and keep it in. It goes over the line. We will have it thrown in deep into attack here for the Tigers.
So another opening here for Richmond. Ball spinning back into play in front of the Reynolds stand. Bolter tried to get cute with the tap. Heppel's clearance, not that good. Turned over. And now Mav Weller can think about a goal. The mark is 49 metres out though, so he's going to have to kick this from almost inside the centre square. Maverick Weller, 7 goals, 7 for his season, averaging nearly 20 a game, disposals wise. Then around the block, Gold Coast Suns, St Kilda, now Richmond. Maverick Weller will kick from 53, I'll call that. It's a high right foot ball off the side of the boot, and it's out of bounds on the full. So we're back where we started again. Essendon have the ball last line of defence, and Jock goes short, no 15. Ridley has to go for a dash. Takes a bounce, his kick does clear deep 50, and good fly. No mark paid though by Pickett. Couldn't take it in the end. Off hands it comes. Gucciani, a very high ball. Good luck marking that, if it even travelled 15. Heppel thrown into the turf by Pickett, and we have a ball up on centre wing.
It was a hell of a fly from Pickett. He just couldn't bring it to ground. See, he had a big
Might have
piece
lost
of
it in the sun.
He lost it in flight, unfortunately. Had he hit the ground, he might have been paid it. But there he is again, Pickett on centre wing. Shot the handball out. They're in all sorts of trouble here, the Tigers. Just can't get that ball away, Naish, near the boundary line. Smartly done. Knew exactly where that boundary line was. Knew exactly what the situation was. And just put his foot over the line. And the boundary umpire was in a good position for that. We're going to have it thrown in. Centre wing on the outer side. 4-1-25, plays 3-1-19, 14 gone in the second quarter. Tigers with the slight advantage. Bolter going to work with Jock now in the ruck. Jock gets the tap down, picked up by Stack though, dragged down the tackle, managed to release the footy. Hepper was just pushed off it, but managed to regain possession, worked with Tynan, who just throws the ball onto the boot, heading up towards between wing and half forwards. Picked up there from Morris. They've got to be careful. Beasley got hands to it, but there's a free kick. Now, which way is it going? It's going the Tigers' way. Is there any advantage? There is not. So we go back to Morris. Half back, out of sides for the Tigers. He wants to get on with it. And he goes with a long kick from half back up towards half forward. D flew, couldn't take the mark. Followed through Ridley. Got the handball out. And now picked up by Jock, hands across. He's got to pick it back up again, and he fumbled the handball. Well done here, Tigers. Stack's got some space in the middle of the ground. He goes across the ground. Picked up by Henderson, the 23rd player for the Tigers. He's got a player in space near our broadcast position. It's Moore. On centre wing. On our broadcast side. Wants to get on with it. His kick going long and high. It's one for the Flyers. Bolter can't get a run with it. Coleman Jones did. Marshall through his hands for the Bombers. Tynan picked it up. Shot the handball out. Hocking. Now worked it across. Smith. Well, it's a dangerous kick, but it's an okay one. Mark being taken by Laverty, who just slows things down at half back for Essendon. They trail by a goal. The kick across the ground is a good one. The switch is on. Ridley. His kick. Squares it up into the middle of the ground. Finds Laguda. Laguda goes short. And that's okay too. Dixon takes the mark. He's not sure which way to go now. And Dixon will just go with a short ball and finds Guccione, who now wants to go on with it. He goes with a long, high ball. No one could take the mark offhand. Stack just trying to find the footy. In fact, it's Ega Melissa Smith who's down there. Ball into the hands here of Day. And he's tackled over the line. We will have it thrown in. Good contest this one. 4-1-25 Richmond. Essendon 3-1-19. We've gone 16 minutes in the second quarter.
So the Bombers, they're looking for their first back-to-back goal. They get one here. They'll draw the game level. They are inside 50, but it's in the wrong hands. The ball's cleared out back toward the middle of Windy Hill. Sibbald couldn't take the mark. D, was he taken high by Moore? He was. Earns a free kick. There's Matt D. The switch for Unit.
Problem here for Coleman Jones. The big ruckman, I think, caught one in the snout.
All right, keep an eye on that. Unit. Interesting handball. Sibbald had to go back and help him, then won it back himself. Hand pass for Laguda. Eventually picks up now. Tynan. Free kick advantage paid for the Bombers. Tynan's kick. Maybe it's coming back now because the kick was wayward in the direction of Begley. Downfield, Begley's going to claim it.
And Callum Coleman-Jones coming from the ground for the Tigers. Just a problem, I think, with his nose. He seemed to be holding. Yeah, it is. He's come from the ground. Doesn't appear to be...
Josh Begley's
causing major problems, but we'll keep an eye on it.
He's gone with the short pass into what the corridor free kick. Garthwaite took the mark, but he won't be allowed to take the kick. The Bombers have a free kick. Jordan Houlihan's going to have a shot.
Oh, yeah, okay. Bit of an update on Coleman Jones. He's going to go straight to the rooms because his nose is not in a good way.
See that from here. Don't need the Bushnells.
Yeah,
if we get a look at the replay in that marking contest, we might be able to, for our viewing audience on vfl.com.au, spot why the free kick has gone Essendon's way. We might get a look at that after the kick. So Jordan Houlihan has had a good year in front of the sticks. 20 goals, 12. This to bring the game back to square. Kicks on the way. We've got a level ball game at Windy Hill. 4-1-25 apiece. 18.5 minutes gone in the second term. It is game on in this round 20 clash between first and fourth on the ladder. As we get a look now.
No, it was something before. No, in the pack before. So it had nothing to do with Garthwaite.
No, so Garthwaite took the easy mark out the back, and I think
Caulfield can't believe it.
At the front of the contest, Jordan Houlihan just pushed out of it, and the ball went well over his head. And that's what the umpire paid the free kick for.
Leading goal kicker for the Bombers this season with 20. And we are back square, heading towards time on in this second quarter. By the way, half-time replay from our SEN VFL hour on Tuesday night. Mark Choco Williams. It's an entertaining chat. And Werribee going to be playing finals this season. We'll have that for you, a replay of that interview at half-time. Bolter going to work with Bowman. The tap down picked up here nicely by the skipper Heppel, getting around Ega Melissa Smith, who corralled him nicely actually. Goes with a kick across the ground. Laguda just had the ball taken away from him. Turner picks it up and sets Richmond heading forward. Silvestro flew, couldn't take the mark. English trying to keep the ball in. He can't, but we'll have it thrown in on that outside near the scoreboard into attack for the Tigers. And that scoreboard showing 4-1-25 apiece. Heading towards time on, second quarter. Bright sunshine today. It's lovely to see. The season's slowly starting to turn, although we may not be saying that with torrential rain most of the week. Bolter grabbed it out of the ruck and took off as well. His kick into the pocket. Oh, it's a strong Bomber mark. Boy, he did that well, Gucci. In the end, he was under all sorts of pressure. He takes in the last line of defence and sets the Bombers outside 50.
Heppel's got a 2-on-1 to deal with, though. Jacob Townsend affected the contest. Had Fraser Turner there as well. Ball's gone out of play for a boundary throw-in between the Bowls Club and the Leisure Centre. Left half forward flank here at the Tigers' attacking end, which is the Napier Street end in this second term. Stack goes back by hand. A deft little kick in board's okay. Turner takes the mark, but too far out to score. Tigers 2 kicks from home. Turner goes long and deep. Lead offered by Moore. No mark was taken. Ball was available to be won there. Bowman does well. Tynan brought down by Bolter. Myers just gets a kick away, and that is very strong hands there. Provided by Bruno Laguda.
50?
Wanted to play on.
No, he's going to have to kick again.
Had Sydney Stack all over him, so Laguda gets the free kick inside defensive 50 for Essendon. 4-1-25 apiece. We're into time on in this second term. Laguda's kick just a little shallow, but Smith did get onto it towards half forward. Good mark taken by Laverty. Was he off? He was. Needed the hand pass option. Minot provided. Kick on the way by Minot. All the way, and the Bombers lead. 5-1-31. Richmond 4-1-25. 21 and a half minutes have been played in this second term on Hard Jacket. Totally Workwear VFL Live.
Well, that'll give them a bit of confidence, won't it, the Bombers? Just again, a good transfer of the footy through the middle of the ground. All that space that just opened up if you move it quick. And we know the Bombers famous for this sort of get it on quickly. Laverty was initially the player, and then Minot just had the space, assessed the situation, and kicked from the paint of 50. And that's a beautiful finish too. His 8th goal for the season. Out of his 14, will now make it 15 games. As Tynan Smith runs onto the ground to get back into the 6-6-6. Essendon in front, 5-1-31, playing 4-1-25. We've gone 22 minutes in this second quarter. Ball back in the middle. Well, Bowman just basically holding Noah Bolter out. It meant that Collier Dawkins could come through and send Richmond deep inside the 50. And the mark's being taken by Markov. So he'll kick from just outside the 50 in the end. I think he's going to go back and have the shot, really, with no breeze to speak of. Oleg should be able to carry the distance and level things back up again, or at least have the attempts. 10 goals in 12 games heading into this one for Oleg. And he'll come in right on the paint of 50. He's given it absolutely everything, and it's hit the post. Second behind for the Tigers, 4-2-26. Trailing Essendon 5-1-31. 23 minutes gone in the second quarter. Jacket Totally Workwear VFL Live through VFL.com.au, through YouTube, and also audio through SEN2.
Ridley's kick carried a bit, and there was no one home at the landing spot, and Bolter was able to take the mark for the Tigers. Noah Bolter. Big right football. It's a booming kick. It maybe could have gone all the way. It's marked on the line by Miller. Umpire says yes. And a shot on goal, point blank range for Ben Miller. Hasn't missed the shot on goal this year. 9 goals straight. You wouldn't expect him to miss this one.
No, just the tall players, as they say, don't get any shorter. A really good kick to, well, right to the goal line, really. Just sat at the back nicely, Miller. Assessed it beautifully.
Tigers back in front. 5-2-32. Essendon 5-1-31. 24 minutes have been played in this second term as Callum Coleman-Jones re-emerges from the rooms.
I dare say everything's been reset there, so
no tape.
I suspect we'll see him back out on the ground sooner rather than later.
Hasn't been mummified, which we sometimes see with those sorts of injuries.
Half-time down the road, 7-4-46. St Kilda leading Carlton 5-5-35. And at the Gabba, it's a 2-point lead to Brisbane 18 minutes into the second quarter. 3-6-24, playing 3-4-22. But back here, it's a 1-point ball game. Richmond back in front. Very deliberate here from the umpire as Bowman sort of working on an angle to Bolter. Bolter got the tap down. And Uncle broke clear. Bowman again just shot the handball out. Now Minot, who goes around the body with a kick up towards centre half forward. A couple of Bombers players spoiled each other in the end. Mosquito came through, couldn't pick up the footy. Morris did well in close quarters for the Tigers, hacked the handball out eventually, and now it's being taken by Dixon, who just puts the ball back inside 50. It's a shallow entry, and Townsend picks it up for the Tigers. They've got some time and they've got some space. Caulfield goes with a kick from half back towards half forward, right near the boundary line. Working hard is Long. Oh, he did really well there in the end, Long, to get Miller out of the way. Shot the handball out. Minot ran into a brick wall. Shot the handball out just in time. Long's in equally as much trouble. He's trying to get the ball away. Can't do so. The umpire will throw it up. Good contest. Dan Butler laying the tackle for the Tigers. Gives you an idea of how intense this is. Why it's such a low scorer. Bowman getting the tap down here for the Bombers, but Tigers looking to take it away well. A little dribbling kick. Unfortunately, it's being turned over, but it'll be turned over again. Dixon was brought down in the tackle, and Sydney Stack to take the free kick. And we'll look to play on. Good work from Bolter on the mark just to shepherd out. The high ball. No one could take the mark off the front of the pack. Marshall picks up for the Bombers. Almost 360 in the tackle. Still got that ball away. Henderson, the 23rd player for Richmond. He got it away in time. He found Butler. Butler has a shot at goal. He puts it through. Again, credit to Bailey Henderson. He went after that footy there inside 50. And the Tigers have another one. 6-2-38 plays 5-1-31. We've played 27 minutes in this second quarter. A valuable goal for the Tigers with the tightness of this contest.
Sydney Stacks up to 15 touches for Richmond. Noel Bolter has 12 to go with 11 hit-outs, 10 each to English and Naish. For the Bombers, 16 now to David Myers, 12 for Aaron Heppel, 10 Riley Bowman, and 9 each to Dixon, Minos and Ridley. And in fact, throw in Josh Tynan there as well.
So not long to go before half-time. 38 plays 31. Enjoying this contest here on Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Live.
Bounce here will favour Bowman, but what he did, he tapped it down to his opposing ruckman, Coleman Jones. Hacked it inside 50, great handball.
No.
Umpire said he threw it.
It was Miller who threw it out.
Oh, wow. Looks good from here.
Really?
I thought it looked okay.
Looked like a throw to me, but where sort of Miller was.
I think I was looking
had
at
his back to us.
I think I was looking at the handball receiver, not the handballer, Peter. So apologies for that. Long. He was pushed after the kick. That might be a downfield.
Yep, downfield, free kick.
Yeah, so he kicked it toward the boundary line. It's gone outside of 50 and the ball to be claimed here by Guccione. It's been good across half-back today for the Bombers. Right football, it's hugging the boundary line here. That's a straight part of the boundary line too, and good leaving mark taken by Caulfield. Spinning the ball in his hands. He wants to come off his line. Umpire now blows the whistle and says, hurry up. Make a decision. So he goes high and long. Very high, in fact, and a good mark taken by Guccione. And another 50-metre penalty. That'll bring Guccione beyond halfway. The mark is right on centre half forward.
So Begley the deep option.
7-point lead for the Tigers. Guccione went toward the pocket.
That's a
good lead on
Laverty.
offer. Is that a mark? It is. Jaden Laverty to have a shot on goal. Kicked a goal late in the first quarter. Margin will be a point if he converts, but it's a fairly difficult shot from this sort of angle and distance. You'll have to kick it from just inside the arc or maybe right on the paintwork. Jaden Laverty to bring the Bombers back within a point in the shadows of half-time. Careful approach. Just inside 50, kicks on the way, got fairly close to the man on the mark. It's a fairly vertical ball. It's gone across the face. Through for a minor score as Camden McIntosh gets set to bring this back in. Finds Garthwaite. The margin here is 6 points in favour of Richmond.
Heading towards half-time. The kick going up towards centre wing. English was taken high and the umpire eventually saw it, called the free kick. And no advantage to be paid. Menergy took off with the footy threw his head back to say, oh, come on, I had some space. True centre wing position here for English. And English will kick Richmond to attacking 50. The ball beats the initial pack and Marshall was there waiting for it. Moore just let it sail over his head in the end. Didn't contest that situation. And Marshall, looking for Tynan. Did he keep it in? Yes, he did. That whistle there for the umpires to signal the mark. Back flank as he kicks up towards centre wing now. 2-on-2 contest. Little juggler for Smith. Yep. No, he's being held. So he'll take the free kick and look to go in the middle of Windy Hill. Up towards centre half forward. It's a high kick. Union. He was the fly. Couldn't take it. Ball on the deck. Pickett did well. Hacked it out. Well done, Townsend. Got it off to Morris. And Morris kicks long. Back towards the centre wing. Working there, Tynan and Markov. It beats them initially because they're wrestling. Moore just trying to tap it to advantage. A throw, said the umpire no. Well, the crowd said throw. Umpire said no. Picked up by Bagley in the end. Received from Ridley's kick across the ground. Laverty has to pick up the footy. Fumbled. Now picked it up again and found some space. His kick inside the 50. Here's a good ball. Mosquito was waiting. Garthwaite there for the Tigers. They've got plenty of time. They've got plenty of numbers as well. Gets the kick across, looking for Pickett, and that will be half-time here at Windy Hill. This is a really good contest we've got building up for you here on Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Live. It's 6-2-38 Richmond, Essendon 5-2-32. That quarter, 31 and a half minutes. Long quarter for a low scorer. We've had a few stoppages along the way. The goal kickers to half-time. Adam Sarakoglu, please.
For Essendon, it is all singles. Houlihan, Laverty, Mosquito, Myers and Minot for Richmond. 2 goals for Noah Bolter, then singles Dan Barlow, Coleman, Jones, English and Miller.
So there you go. 6-2 plays 5-2. Richmond leading Essendon as they get off the ground, these two teams. It's like a sort of shaking hands at the end of a game for the Tigers. They're sort of in a straight line formation. Same for the Bombers as well, as they make their way off. Really good contest, this one, as you expect for a top 4 clash. We'll take a break as you're seeing the second quarter highlights. If you're watching on our video stream, an audio stream will have plenty for you as well, including an interview at half-time with Mark Choco Williams, the coach of the Werribee Football Club, from our SEN VFL Hour on Tuesday night. That to come. We'll go around the grounds as well, but it's a one goal ball game. Richmond 6-2-38 leading Essendon 5-2-32. It's here on Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Live.
At Totally Workwear, we kit out the brickies, the chippies, the foremen, the tradies. Did we say foremen? They're not all men. Some are ladies. Yeah! Work in an office, retail, healthcare, hospitality. Here's where you'll find all your workwear. Yeah, totally. Totally Workwear have got you covered with the best brands, best value and best service. Totally Workwear. Get what you want and get back to work.
Totally Workwear. Nature's an amazing place. It's a perfect balancing act, thriving with life. Some of which we don't even see. Like the billions of microorganisms that help keep nature in balance. At Swiss, the quest continues.
Your Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Club needs you to show your support. Buying a VFL Club membership helps support your local team and provides great discounts and match access. The VFL gives you the chance to get in the coaches' huddle and enjoy kick-to-kick on the field, whilst kids under 15 get in free. Get involved in the VFL this season. Head to vfl.com.au/membership to find out what membership offers are available at your club in 2019.
I'm a digital radio.
And I'm a digital TV. Now, you may remember when TV went digital.
Yes, and you got a lot more channels and a better picture.
Well, buying a digital radio is the same.
Exactly. I've got up to 30 extra radio stations, plus all your old faves, and I sound amazing.
Yeah, but I look amazing.
Yeah, but this is a radio ad, so no one can see you.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to hear this station like you have have never heard it before,
Buy a digital radio.
head into your nearest retailer and upgrade to digital.
For club interviews and all the news from the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL and Swiss Wellness VFL Women's, don't miss the VFL Hour during the Sporting Capital with Jack Heverin, Tuesdays from 9 p.m. on 1116 SEN.
But it's your job. You'll be fine.
Mate, just because everybody seems like they're doing it doesn't actually mean that they are doing it.
Help your kids understand that betting and sport don't have to go together.
The ads don't always tell you the risks, yeah?
Before you have the talk, check lovethegame.vic.gov.au. Authorised by VRGF Melbourne.
Don't miss a moment of the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Find SEN2 on your digital radio today for live coverage of the match of the round. The Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Live on SEN2 DAB+.
Love your sport? Then you'll love SEN.
Looks to be the last game of the first set. Almagro leading 5-3.
And you'll find it on digital radio. Simply scroll to SEN, Melbourne's home of sport.
Streaming live through VFL.com.au. This is VFL Live.
Where we have a one-goal ball game. Richmond 6-2-38, Essendon 5-2-32. No Bolter, the only multiple goal kicker on the ground with 2 goals. All singles for the Bombers. Around the grounds in the AFL. They're into the third quarter down the road, and it is St Kilda 7-4-46 leading Carlton 5-5-35, a minute into the third term there, and heading towards half-time at the Gabba. 5-6-36 Geelong leading Brisbane 4-7-31, a 5-point lead to Geelong in an interesting and close encounter at the Gabba. Well, Werribee are going to be playing finals this season, and we're very much looking forward to seeing the return of the Bees at top line finals action. They will be playing at Port Melbourne. They can't reach the top 4, but they can have cause some carnage, maybe a few upsets along the way. Their new coach this season has been Mark Choco Williams, and he's done a great job with this lineup. Plenty of talent there. He caught up with the team, Sam Hargraves and Anthony Stanget's on SEN's VFL Hour. It is Tuesday night from 9 o'clock. A really interesting chat. Take a listen.
Welcome back to the VFL Hour. Fantastic to have your company, Anthony Stanget's and Sam Hargraves, with you, and a real pleasure to have this man as our very first guest of the evening. He was an AFL Premiership coach in 2004 with the Port Adelaide Footy Club. He's in his first year as coach of the Werribee Football Club. They currently sit 5th and are guaranteed a final spot. That's just what Mark Williams brings to the table, and he's been good enough to join us on the VFL Hour. Hello, Choco.
How you going, boys?
Going very well. Have you enjoyed the first season in the VFL?
Yeah, it's been terrific, actually. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Loved being there, and the players, the staff have been terrific, and we're getting some great results.
Important game on the weekend in the Beyond Blue Cup with the Box Hill Hawks, getting that victory and cementing that finals berth for this season.
Yeah, look, we lost 4 in a row there, and we won the last 4, I think. So probably the last 4 games we had to win to make the finals. So, it's great that the courage the players have shown to stick with it and believe in themselves, and all the other coaches have done a wonderful job preparing them as well.
And Choco, tell us a bit about the Beyond Blue Cup on the weekend. Julia Gillard spoke to the team pre-match, and a really important day for the club that's, I think, celebrating its 10th anniversary between the two clubs.
Yeah, very much so. We're delighted. Julia's, I think, our patron or one of those things anyway. Certainly a major ticket holder at the club, and for her to be down there, and I was really happy to meet with her, chat about days gone by in South Australia where she came from originally, and then to be the face of Werribee and also the face of Beyond Blue is a great connection for us. She spoke at the dinner, at the lunch beforehand, and just a little bit to the players and wished them all the best, and told them to play tough, and out they went.
Choco, the draft combine announcement was made last week, and great to see some of the Werribee names rewarded with an invitation. 3 players making the list.
Yeah. So They're all pretty happy about it. There's probably 3, 4 or 5 more players that could have, and the AFL clubs, they know for sure. They've been ringing me and talking to me about our players. And, we haven't got to where we are. I think we're led by Nick Daffy, but our forwards, I think, are the most efficient and kicked the second most score in the VFL, which is, fantastic. So obviously those guys are doing a pretty good job. And, with Jeff Andrews in the back line, people like, Max Spence, who come from the Suns, he's played terrifically well. Ryan Hebron, a drop-off marking defender. I think Nick Copeland and Dan Nielsen have had wonderful years as tallbacks, and I'd be surprised if they're not looked at as well.
Looking at the midfield, Michael Barlow picking up just a lazy 43 on the weekend, and his partner in crime in Tom Gribble is continuing to lead the total disposals for the competition. They're having great seasons.
You have to understand, Mick is a midfield coach, so if he calls for the ball, he's going to get it. And then obviously he wants to do all the kick-outs, and it's 1-2s here. It's just a joke, honestly.
That's not surprising. That's not surprising, Mark.
No, it's not true. Mick, if you have a look at their contested ball, he just gets it all the time. He's fantastic, and obviously, he's missed a lot of weeks because of his broken jaw that didn't get fixed exactly perfect the first time. He had to do it twice. So, that's we would have certainly won some more games if Mick would have played those extra games. So. We're lucky to have him. He's been fantastic for the midfield group, and certainly fantastic for the club.
Mark Williams, we often ask players who have been through the AFL system before and gone to VFL and are performing really well, whether they still harbour the ambition to go back up into the major league. You're obviously got this team in a fantastic position to play finals. Is that something that's on your radar or agenda to maybe get back into AFL at some stage with your coaching, or is this where you want to be and where you'd like to finish out your career?
Look, I'm always interested in what's available. The facts are that Werribee came to me. I'm delighted to be there. At the moment you hear that there are, other jobs around, and, for people to be interested in it's great. I know that I still, as far as, I listened to Ross the other day talking about, there's no doubt that I know more now than I did whenever I coached, when I won a premiership, and I just love the idea that I can go and do some stuff with our Werribee players, and here's a new drill, and watch it and see how it works, and can I make an individual player better? Can I work with a coach? Can I get a group of players to connect better from backs to forwards or mids? And honestly, I just love all that. So, it's who knows what happens in the future, but as you get older, it's a lot harder to get jobs in the AFL, that's for sure.
Looking at the development of players, and I think Werribee's used the 23rd player rule to their advantage right throughout the season, and you had another player debut on the weekend in Hudson Garoni, continuing on that association with the Murray Bushrangers.
Yes, we're delighted to welcome players from. We have quite a few from Geelong Falcons and Murray Bushrangers. We have them from Western Jets and Ballarat up there. So we're always looking for the country kids to come down and be part of it. Hudson, it was great. He's had a bit of an interrupted season with injury, and right at the start of the year, I thought he'd definitely play a lot of games, and probably in his spot was Jake Riccardi, and he's I think he's second on the goal kicking list at a young age, and he's each week he gets better and better. So we're delighted with that. We've had Tyler Watts, a big, really, really quick 2 metre plus forward and ruck coming in, and Aidan Domick, an Aboriginal boy that has played a bit as well and played pretty well on the weekend. Tom Boyd from up the country somewhere, I don't even know, but up the country, and there's definitely one or two others that, certainly Darcy Bennett. I thought he was pretty good on the weekend. It's fantastic. As a development league, we, these young players, they just love to learn, and Darcy's about 2 meters 8 or something, and up against Pinochet and those guys, big guys, and I thought he competed really well.
Well, I love the point you make there, Mark Williams, about the fact that it's now with the emphasis on development, you still are, as a coach there, so valuable and so vital. And in an era where coaching is now all about the one-on-one stuff, it's a fantastic place to hone those skills. And I love the point you made before about the older you get, the harder it is to get a job in the AFL. I think we've got a bad track record of not giving coaches who have done the job before another crack somewhere else. I don't know why we don't do it in our game when sports around the world have proven that a change of scenery, a change of ideas, and people who have got experience can be absolutely valuable. So, hopefully for you and enjoying the work you're doing at VFL, but there might be an opportunity to go back and teach what you've learnt there and at the highest level again.
Yeah, who knows? But as I said, there's a guy, I'm sure he's out there listening, Don Brew, one of our really tough nuts. On the weekend, he had 17 tackles. Now, these are just unbelievable numbers, and to see someone commit himself into the contested ball as much as that is a delight. We have a Sudanese kid. I work with. I've never seen a Sudanese kid up close. And then I worked with Mabi Ochol at Richmond, and to see him now, it's a delight. And I recall Mabi at the start. It was tough times for him. He found it difficult to fit in and difficult to understand all the commitments that an AFL club demanded. And Manuel, he's been unbelievable for us, and I see a real bright future for him as well. And obviously in the Werribee area, we've got so many Sudanese guys and Aboriginal guys, and to continually see Werribee as a destination club. I know there'll be players out there listening about the VFL, and if you're at a club that you feel like you might be marking time and not going anywhere, we're certainly looking for to improve our list for next year and come across the bridge. It's only I look at it when I go across every day. It's 20 minutes from the Westgate Bridge, so it's not that far, and the facilities and the warmth of the people there is just brilliant. Mark Penaluna does a wonderful job as the CEO, and Stu Ballock, he's been my right-hand man with absolutely everything in the football department as a leader of that. So, we've got a great system going there, and it's just getting better and better.
Well, Mark Williams, thank you so much for giving us some time. They're in very good hands if they're spending some time with you. As I said before, 2004 Premiership coach, doing a wonderful job at Werribee. They've got the bye this week, but sitting fifth, guaranteed a final spot. So good luck for the rest of the season, and thanks for giving us some time on the VFL Hour.
Yeah, our last game is Williamstown at Williamstown, and the connection there is my father-in-law, John Martin, won the 1956 listing for Williamstown. So it's a bit of a grudge match in our family, that particular game. So 7:30 at night time, I think. Andy Collins down there. We nearly got him last time, and we're coming for him. So if we have a big crowd down there, we'll be finals-like, and it'll be fantastic build-up for us going into the finals.
Absolutely. You can find all the details on vfl.com.au. Mark Williams, thanks again.
No worries, boys. See ya.
Nature's an amazing place. It's a perfect balancing act, thriving with life. Some of which we don't even see. Like the billions of microorganisms that help keep nature in balance. At Swiss, the quest continues.
At Totally Workwear, we kit out the brickies, the chippies, the foremen, the tradies. Did we say foremen? They're not all men, some are ladies. Yeah! Work in an office, retail, healthcare, hospitality? Here's where you'll find all your workwear. Yeah, totally. Totally Workwear have got you covered with the best brands, best value and best service. Totally Workwear. Get what you want and get back to work.
For club interviews and all the news from the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL and Swiss Wellness VFL Women's, don't miss the VFL Hour during the Sporting Capital with Jack Heverin, Tuesdays from 9 p.m. on 1116 SEN.
But it's your job. You'll be fine.
Mate, just because everybody seems like they're doing it doesn't actually mean that they are doing it.
Help your kids understand that betting and sport don't have to go together.
The ads don't always tell you the risks, yeah?
Before you have the talk, check lovethegame.vic.gov.au. Authorised by VRGF Melbourne.
Don't miss a moment of the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Find SEN2 on your digital radio today for live coverage of the match of the round. The Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Live on SEN2 DAB+.
I'm a digital radio. To help explain why it's time to update your old radio, with me is my friend Digital TV.
Hi.
There you go.
Remember when us TVs went digital?
Everyone does. Get to the point.
Suddenly you got lots more channels for free.
Yes.
Well, it's the same with digital radio.
When you buy a digital radio, you can get all your favourite stations plus up to 30 extra ones, playing all kinds of music, live sport and talk.
That's pretty great.
It's really great.
All you have to do is head into your nearest retailer
or check out digitalradioplus.com.au
and upgrade to digital.
Your Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Club needs you to show your support. Buying a VFL Club membership helps support your local team and provides great discounts and match access. The VFL gives you the chance to get in the coaches' huddle and enjoy kick-to-kick on the field, whilst kids under 15 get in free. Get involved in the VFL this season. Head to vfl.com.au/membership to find out what membership offers are available at your club in 2019.
Love your sport? Then you'll love SEN.
Stuart Appleby has come from 7 strokes
And you'll
behind
find it on digital radio. Simply scroll to SEN, Melbourne's home of sport.
Streaming live through VFL.com.au. This is VFL Live.
And we are here at Windy Hill, 5-2-32 Essendon trailing Richmond 6-2-38. Second half about to get underway. Around the ground, 17 minutes into the third quarter. It is Carlton leading by 3 points over St Kilda. Goal to Mark Murphy, 7-9-51, leading 7-6-48. 7.5 minutes in the third quarter there, and it's Geelong by 17 at half-time. 7-7-49 to the Brisbane Lions, 4-8-32 up at the Gabba. All right, teams in position. Great crowd having a bit of kick-to-kick in the break as well. And we're looking forward to a big second half, just a goal the difference. And let's see what happens. Everyone's off the ground. So it goes. Here we go. Second half on Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Live.
We have a one-score game at Windy Hill. Another good bounce to restart play here in the second half. Bowman was falling over. Myers left foot clearance. Inside 50 we go for the Bombers. The ball was fisted down. Now Beasley, hand pass over the top. That's okay. Menadue. The next man in the chain is Silvestro. Jumps up, took it at the high point, takes a nice mark on the outer wing. It is Richmond by a goal, 6-2-38 to 5-2-32. Silvestro's kick. Coleman Jones and Bolter potentially got in each other's way. Jock releasing handball. Myers inside 50. Garthwaite. Inspector Gadget arm stretched and brought it down.
And now wants to go on with it as well. They're still inside defensive 50 here. Egamalesi Smith, the kick is short, finds Beasley. Still haven't exited the 50, the Tigers. Working the broadcast side of the grounds. The Brewster side of Windy Hill, if you're familiar with the area. The kick is a long one up to centre wing, and Tynan takes the mark, pretty much uncontested in the end, because he's the only one who put his hands up, fell into his hands. Minot gets the kick, takes the mark, and now goes with a long ball inside the 50. Egamalesi Smith just bringing the ball to ground, but it falls into the hands of the Bombers. Houlihan shot the handball out over the top. Myers putting it into the path of Hairball, wrapped up in the Caulfield tackle, going nowhere, and the umpire will throw the ball up into attack for It's about the third or fourth time so far. Mosquito trying to get on the end of the tap. English just trying to hack the ball out. Can't get very far. Minot picked it up, then handball. Bowman just shot it away. And now around the body kick from Begley goes out of bounds on the full. 2 minutes gone in this third quarter. 38 plays 32. Early stages of the second half.
Ryan Garthwaite with the Sherry. Sends a booming right football. It clears D50. Markov underneath this, as was Moore. He was up against Bowman. Markov, hand pass, kick smothered off the boot of Collier Dawkins. Opens the door here for the Bombers. Houlihan, Minot, Begley to snap. And the goal. And scores a level again. 6-2, 38 apiece at Windy Hill. Early stages, third term.
Well, again, the setup, it's been all inside the attacking 50 for the Bombers. And they finally get the reward. So Houlihan shooting the handball out. And it was Josh Begley who had plenty of space.
Ugly kick, but it did the job.
Yep. Maybe even had a little bit more time to run a bit closer, but gets the job done. 38 apiece, the only match in the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL today. Plenty of games to come tomorrow. Final game for the Tigers for the home and away season. They got the bye next week for the Bombers down at GMHBA Stadium and a date with Geelong, which could be an important one depending on what happens here. Back in the middle we go. Bowman working with Bolter. Bolter got the tap down, but it's cleared again by Myers for the Bombers, who sends them up towards half forward. Picked up here by Union. Breaks the tackle, kicks short, finds Hocking, who takes the mark, and he'll be kicking from 45 out.
Great little kick by Danny Union. He's having a very, very good season for the Bombers.
It's 10 metres in from the boundary line as well. By the time he makes this kick. Shot at goal for Heath Hocking. 17 goals this season out of his 15 games. Steps inside the 50. An important kick. It's a good one. Another one of the Bombers. And they're in front. 7-2-44. Play 6-2-38. We've gone 4 minutes in the third quarter. And Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Live. We might get some of the stats too, Adam, when you've got a minute too. We didn't get a chance outside of the halftime break to cover any of that, but some leading ball winners on the ground.
David Myers up to 20-13 for Aaron Hampel, 12 Trent Minot, at 11 each to Bowman and Tynan, 10 each for Dixon and Ridley for the Bombers. For Richmond, 15 touches for Sydney Stack, 12 each Noah Bolter and Luke English, 11 for Paddy Naish, 10 for Garthwaite and Townsend. 3 goals in a row for the Bombers. And they lead by a goal for the second time today. Umpire puts it down. A bouncer will favour Coleman Jones. He did win the tap. Collier Dawkins did well to spit the handball out. Now Igmalesi Smith towards half forward. Just trickles inside 50. Long applying the pressure. Handball out for Bolter. Can't possess in play. Boundary throw in. Good game of football. Hope you're enjoying the coverage, however you're taking it in today. If you're watching us, a healthy audience on VFL.com.au. And SEN2 for our listening audience as well. Final game of the home and away season for us next week on Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Live. Box Hill to take on Collingwood as Heppel clears away. Bouncing ball missed by Beasley. Has Morris for help, but he had Tynan Smith for company. Now Unit, good tackle. Ball up right on the chalk. He's a straight boundary line out there, Peter, for a good 20-metre stretch. It's an oddly shaped ground, Windy Hill.
That's why they moved. Well, they wanted to get into the Bowls Club back there and create a bit more space, but they couldn't.
So the ball is going to go out of play here.
That's why they're up the road. So they could have a MCG-sized ground and Marvel-sized ground.
Yep. Plenty of space out there by the airport.
And a bit of push and shoving here too on centre wing. The umpire just needs to get the ball and we'll get things moving pretty quickly.
No free kicks. I reckon it's the third time we've had some afters today. Right now, Tom Jock's going to take this ruck contest uncontested. And he just grabs it. Well, he tried to anyway, then he fumbled. Coleman Jones finally came in. Hairpole trying to hack the ball forward, gets a little kick in front of the scoreboard and it trickles out of play, left half forward. Boundary throw in. The Bombers lead 7-2-44. Richmond 6-2-38. 2 early goals to the Dons to start this third term.
Yep, toss back in to the 7-minute mark, and it's been a really entertaining game. A good fight back from the Bombers after they were thrashed last week. As Coleman Jones got hands to it out of the ruck contest, and now picked up by Jock, who goes for a run, then kicks inside the 50, goes over the head of Laverty. Morris first there, wrapped up in one tackle, not the second. Got it across to Beasley, and Beasley's kick out wide is not a bad one. Weller wrapped up in the tackle, fumbled at the crucial moment, and there'll be a free kick going the Bombers' way. Heppel will kick the ball again inside the 50. Garthwaite falls over the back. Houlihan takes a great mark. Oh, there was a clash there, a couple of bodies. And it was Houlihan, the player, to come up with it. It'll take you a little while to get to his feet. And that was some mark by Jordan Houlihan. It came in, just a little bit of a tangle. He was at the back of the pack, and a nice mark. In mark of the day territory, I'd have to say there, Adam. And an important kick here for Jordan Houlihan. Extend the margin to a couple of goals. In he comes. 15 out, the man on the mark, and it's not going to be a problem from there for Houlihan. He's got his second to 22 for the season. And this is nice from the Bombers. 8-2-50, play 6-2-38. 8 gone in the third quarter. Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Live as we'll go around the grounds up towards three-quarter time down the road. 7-10-52. Carlton leading St Kilda 8. In fact, the St Kilda back in front now. The score's ticked over. 8-8-56 leading 7-10-52. 27 minutes gone the third quarter there. And just repeating half-time in Brisbane, it's Geelong by 17 points over the Lads.
Essendon now enjoying its best lead of the day. As umpire Paul Ribashini looks to get things back underway. It's a careful routine here, Peter. And a good bounce. Neither ruckman really got it. Coleman Jones received from Townsend. He goes inside 50. All of a sudden, the Tigers are the ones that need a goal here. Jock gains in front of Miller. D, hand pass off. Under some pressure was Guccione. Marshall goes over the top. Guccione clears, but turns it over. Mark taken by Coleman Jones. He looks to go backward here. Bouncing ball picked up by Garthwaite. Plenty of space. Beasley. Camden McIntosh might be next in the chain. Beasley holds on to it. Goes a little further afield. The kick is intended for and finds Bailey Henderson. Bailey Henderson, Richmond's 23rd man today. From centre wing, lobs a high one. We're inside 50 for the Tigers. They'd love a mark. Good mark though out the back by Ridley. Bombers get it back. Now Jordan Ridley, one way than the other. A little undecided as to where to go. Looking for his captain, Hairpole. Body on body there by McIntosh. Did well to worry him out of the contest. Receives the handball from Caulfield. Camden McIntosh. High ball back inside 50. Couple of players fly. Again. Good mark again by Jordan Ridley.
Yep, and he kicks across the ground, finds Jock. Still inside defensive 50 here, the Bombers. Jock looks up, not sure which way to go. Long's the short option. Decides to go across the ground, back to Ridley, who goes a bit further up the ground and finds Guccione. At defensive 50 for the Bombers. And back towards the middle of the ground. Sibbald will go short kick to Union. They have exited the 50, but not by much. Where's the next option up the line here? Unless it's going to be switched. It looks like it is. You can't find it one way, go the other. Long, inside defensive 50, back to centre half back. It's dangerous. There's a chopping of the arms. It's going to be an Essendon free kick anyway. Yeah, Begley had his arms chopped. But dangerous kick, though. This is another one. Marshall's got to be good against Silvestro. It comes off hands. Another chance here, though. Silvestro, the second effort, paddling it forward to the advantage of Moore. He's on 50. He has to handball back. Oh, it's been turned over. Marshall picked it up, who handballed pretty much straight to Caulfield, but he fumbled at the crucial moment. Bombers in possession temporarily. Now Butler has it for the Tigers. On the ground, he tried to kick the ball forward. He couldn't do so. Now Union picks it up. He's ridden into the turf, and he's caught for holding the ball. There's an untidy passage from both teams, but in the end, it's the Tigers that come up with it. It's Caulfield that's got it. Anyone going to be driving by? He's 60 from goal, Caulfield. Just going to put it up towards the top of the goal square, but Jock, good positioning, takes the mark for the Bombers. Another relieving mark, 8-2 play 6-2. Essendon leading Richmond, 12 gone third quarter.
Jock's kick just finds Dixon. They're absorbing the pressure well, the Bombers at the moment. Not a great ball by Dixon, though. It was a mongrel, a floater, and the mark taken by McIntosh. One of 3 2017 AFL Premiership players out there today for the Tigers, and he goes inside 50 and hits the target. Mark has been taken by Callum Coleman-Jones. Tough angle here. It's probably a 50 to 55 degree angle and will kick from about 50. On a winless day at Windy Hill. It's an awkward action. It's going to go across the face and not register a score. There was a fly, I think it was Connor Menadue. It's gone through for a minor score. 11-point ball game, 6-3-39. Essendon 8-2, 50, 13 gone. In this third term, a beautiful sunny day at Windy Hill in a top 4 clash in the VFL.
Ridley runs out of the goal square and then kicks. Oh, it's going to be turned over again. Coleman-Jones taking the mark over Laverty. Wanted to get it moving quickly up to centre half forward. Silvestro threw his head of hands, picked it up. Henderson gets the receive and they've worked it out beautifully. Menadue takes the mark. He can stream into goal and put it through. All's well that ends well for the Tigers. And Menadue closed to 25 and put it through, no problem at all. Important goal for Richmond, brings them back to 5 points. 8-2, 50 Essendon. Richmond 7-3, 45. And we've played 13 and a half minutes in this third term. You can totally work with VFL Live on vfl.com.au, video streaming and also audio on SEN2 on your digital radio and the SEN app. Three-quarter time down the road, 8:56 St Kilda, 7:10:52 Carlton. Saints by 4 points and Geelong by 18 points. 5 minutes into the third quarter, 7:8:50 to Brisbane, 4:8:32.
The ball had been locked inside that 50 for a couple of minutes, and for Connor Menadue to have all that space to himself in the fat side pocket, Dan Jordan won't be happy with that. At the moment, he's having a chat to Jaden Laverty, who looked to be fairly animated for a moment. Umpire bounces back in the middle. It's a spiralling sort of bounce at Dixon, Sibbald, Hawking, Ridley. Bombers to half forward. Bagley takes the mark. It's a promising build-up so far for Essendon. Mark Bagley onto the right foot. He goes. The kick inside 50. Bowman front position. Can't take the mark though. Beasley desperately just hacks the ball out at defensive 50. High ball. Good luck marking it. Silvestro did well to affect the contest. Morris picks up. Front of the scoreboard. Morris onto the left. Bit straight down the throat of Eden Sibbald. He'll go inboard for Tynan. Dangerous kick. Moore gets there with the fist. There's plenty of yellow and black around this, but the first to arrive was Hocking. Eventually Naish. Hand pass out. Butler's got space. Dan Butler. The hand pass off. Tigers would love another goal. Shot on the way. Naish. Yep. Richmond go bang bang and are back in front. 8-3-51. Essendon 8-2-50. Halfway into the third term.
Oh, and again, how good was that from the Tigers? How quick was that movement?
It's the space that they had. Dan Butler by himself, 60 out directly in front. The handball came his way. A couple of goals that Dan Jordan would consider avoidable from an Essendon perspective.
So it was English initially in the contest, but Butler was the player who, as I say, did have the space there, but boy oh boy, there's a lot there for Naish to work with too. And this is the thing with the Bombers, they get turned over. Once that turnover happens, particularly when you're talking against a quick team like the Tigers, you can be hurt on the rebound. Point in it, 16 gone. Third quarter. Jock into the ruck against Bolter. And Jock leaning over the top, but it falls into the arms of Collier Dawkins, who goes around the body inside 50. No mark taken by Markov. Under pressure deep. Brushed the tackle. And now kicks wide and finds Houlihan on centre wing. Needs runners alongside. Got Jock, who handballs over the top, and now they've got some space. Here's Mosquito, met by Caulfield. The handball back to Laguda through his hands, and it's right near the scoreboard. We will have it thrown in. Bit more push and shove going on. Nothing in that one. 17 minutes gone. It's a 1-point lead to Richmond. 51 plays 50. So we wait for this ball to be thrown in. Jock to contest with Bolter. And boundary umpire will eventually hurl this one back into play.
I want to get the line right because it is a straight boundary there.
So it was Bolter just tapping over behind himself. No one can get clear from the contest. Now Union does. Picks up. You got it backwards to go forward. Sibbald set Marshall the task. He's ridden into the turf. Is he taken high? The umpire comes immediately in. I think he's going to throw the ball up. He is. Right on the centre square line. Centre wing. Bolter flew about 3 hours too early. Nash just tacked the handball out. Ball into space. Now picked up again. Turner got hands to it. Now picks it up again. He goes ball inside 50. Markov was being held on to. No call from the umpire. Moore shot the handball out. Here's English. English has found some space and he kicks the goal. He's second of the afternoon. And now it's Richmond's turn to put the foot down as they get their 9th on the board. And they go to 9-3-57. Essendon 8-2-50. We've played 18 minutes in this third quarter.
So the Bombers have kicked 3 in a row now. The Tigers have kicked 3 in a row. And all of that's in the space of about 3 or 4 minutes of play. 7-point ball game. Second goal of the day for Luke English. So the Tigers, who already have the minor premiership sewn up, as far as their VFL prospects are concerned, this is perhaps nothing more than a dress rehearsal for the finals. They will get a home final at the Swinburne Centre in 2 weeks from now.
Where would that be, Adam?
The Swinburne Centre.
Thank you very much.
Bombers inside 50, hocking the meat and the sandwich out the back. Laverty couldn't run onto the ball. Great pressure, Pickett. Overrun by Morris.
Pushing the back.
High contact.
Yep.
Says the umpire, and a free kick for the Tigers. Steve Morris on the last line of the fence.
Played that well too, because Mosquito was the one in the dangerous position. It was Morris the one to cover it off.
All that happening in front of VFL headquarters. Bouncing ball. Picked up by English. Hand pass off. Menadue one way and the other. Good tackle by D. It spills over the line. Boundary throw in. Crowd finding voice. It's a good crowd today at Windy Hill.
Oh, yeah.
7-point ball game in favour of the Tigers.
That's what we like, Adam. Close contest, sunny conditions.
Two teams that could well meet, if not once, maybe twice in September. Umpire throws it in. Neither ruck won the tap. Good hand pass out by Dixon. Newton, lethal by foot, inside 50. Going for the fly there was Egmalesi Smith. Hand pass out. Houlihan was he held on to. Now Mosquito wrapped up by Egmalesi Smith. Game's just risen in intensity in the last couple of minutes, and we have a ball up in the right forward pocket.
Oh, I'll tell you what, this is one that's set up for Irving. If he can get near it, Bowman got the tap down. It's right near the boundary line. It's going to go over. It does. Laverty trying to keep it in, right near the Essendon change rooms. And 35 around from their goal. 57 plays 50. Richmond leading into time on in this third quarter.
The largest margin in this game, Peter, has been 12 points, and both teams have had a 12-point lead at some stage today.
Ball to ground. Beasley just trying to clear the area. It goes outside the 50. Silvestro! Great mark! And maybe... Oh, it's going to be reversed! Solik, Markov and Tynan clashing. Bit of holding on going on. And Tynan will get the free kick for Essendon. Oh, important turnover here because this ball's going to go to the top of the goal square. No one can take the mark. No one can get through either. Bodies clashing. Begley was there. Hocking laying the tackle, and we're going to have it thrown up. It'll be really interesting to see how both teams set up here with this ball on the goal line pretty much. Hocking slowly getting to his feet. It's in the goal square. It's right next to the goal square for Essendon. So Bowman wants to try and keep it in. And trying to get boot to ball there was Laverty. Oh boy, picking it up was Turner. He was clattered over the line. And we'll have it thrown in right next to the behind post. So that'll give them a little bit more space here, the players. 57 plays 50. 22 gone in this third quarter. Richmond going to finish the home and away season on top, no matter what today. Important for Essendon if they get the win. Here's Mosquito. He picked it up, got the handball out. It missed its initial target, but Long was coming through. He fumbles at the crucial moment. Townsend trying to get the clearing kick. That was smothered. Now they pile in on top, and the umpire calls a stop to that. No, holding the footy. It's going to be a free kick going the Tigers' way. Not sure how a realistic attempt could be made there by Dixon. But anyway, it's Butler with the free kick inside defensive 50.
One of those 3 Tigers on the ground. That was part of the 22 on grand final day against the Adelaide Crows in 2017. The other 2 being Townsend and McIntosh. Moore goes inboard. Butler missed it. Has to go back and fetch. Now has to get around Mosquito. Still Butler finally releases the handball. Moore's under pressure. Has to get around Tynan. Can't do so. And a free kick for the Bombers. Josh Tynan on centre wing.
Oh,
just coming onto the ground was Myers, still the leading ball getter on the ground. This will be number 23 for number 23. High ball inside 50. Which way's it going? Jaden Laverty's. Jaden Laverty.
Oh, is it though? No, I don't think it's Laverty. No. It's Hocking.
Hocking is the one. Laverty was trying to position himself as the man infringed.
He was the one coming back.
But Hocking will take the shot.
Yeah, just a bit of holding going on. We just see there on our replay of Hocking. Laverty was just working his way into the contest.
Directly in front. Heath Hocking for his second goal. Left foot ball is good. And good is a perfect way to describe this game. There's 1 point in it. 9-2-56 to 9-3-57. 24 minutes gone in this third term. A 1 point lead for the minor Premier Tigers.
Around the grounds, 8-8-56. St Kilda now trailing Carlton. 9-11-65. Interesting game there. The Blues by 9 points. 8 into the final term. And it's the Cats by 10 points over the Lions. 7-8-50 to 5-10-40. 15 gone in the third quarter. But what a game we have unfolding here. 24 gone in the third quarter. 1 point the difference. As we wait now for the bounce of the ball. 9-3 plays 9-2. Back we go. Bowman and Bolter. Bowman had it all to himself pretty much and has to have a second go at it. It fell to Jock, who can't pick it up cleanly. And the Tigers looking to come away with it, but Heppel got in the way. Tried to turn it over. I think he was legged. He was. He'll take the free kick in the middle of Windy Hill. The skipper of the Bombers wants to go further afield. It's a touch ball. Couple of Tigers players there. Now Collier Dawkins gets the handball over the top, and it's been cut off again by Heppel. Great reading of the play. He kicks up towards half forward. That not so much. McIntosh 360'd in the tackle. Still shot the handball out. Heppel his third disposal in 30 seconds, but it's turned over again. Naish works it to the middle of the ground. Weller. He kicks inside the 50. 2-on-2 contest and falls to the back. Oh, here we go. Moore's going to run in to kick the easiest goal of his career. He was the player who was goal side, and that is an important goal for the Tigers. 10-3-63 plays 9-2-56. 25 minutes gone the third term, and that's a blow to the Bombers.
Ball's just zipping around at the moment. It was a fairly slow start to this game, scoring-wise. If we look at the scoring worm, it took a while for the scoring to get going.
Oh, we didn't have a goal
this game. The first goal of the game was kicked 12 minutes in by Noah Bolter. Since then, both teams have held 12-point leads. They've evaporated away. Back-to-back goals here. 1 goal apiece each way. And the margin's back to 7 points in favour of the Tigers. This is some game of football. If this is a preview for what the finals are going to look like.
I'm signing up for it now.
Umpire puts it down. Picked up by Townsend. Just worried off his kick, but got it away in time before Heppel arrived for the tackle. It's going to go out of play before Menadue can chase it down. Well, he's seen his set. He's had a couple of fizzes on Hard Jacket, Totally Workwear VFL Live in the last couple of weeks, but we're coming good today, Peter.
Oh, yes.
It was a good game between these two sides earlier in the season as well at the Swinburne Centre. 3-point win for the Tigers that day. /night got very dark late there. Markov takes the mark. The mark is on 50. Markov's ball. Not sure if it was intended either for Moore or Menadue. Moore. Right foot smothered though by Dixon. Ball spat up in the air. Now it's on ground level. Who gets it? Picked up by Markov. Handball options Mav Weller. Weller from the boundary line. It's a high ball for the top of the square. No mark. Coleman Jones. Ball again just spits up in the air and it's fisted over the line. Is it deliberate?
Oh, it is.
And a shot on goal for the Tigers. Dan Butler. Man, to have a shot from the pocket.
It's red hot, but it was there. Yeah, it was there. That's the only intention he had. Almost be better in that situation. He can see the behind.
Butler to improve his angle. Right foot snap and didn't get enough hook on it. It's a minor score. Richmond 10-4-64, lead by 8 points. Essendon 9-2-56, 27 and a half minutes in the third term here at Windy Hill.
So Ridley runs out from the goal square and goes short and finds Tynan. His kick. Josh Tynan outside the 50 up towards centre wing. Egham Leslie Smith got his player out of the way, couldn't take the mark in the end. Pickett just trying to paddle it forward. It's in Tiger hands on centre wing. Working around the body there was Naish. Back up to centre half forward. No one could take the mark. Ridley's got there again for the Bombers. His kick around the body. Oh, it's going to be turned over again. Naish getting in the way. Kicking blindly there, the Bombers. And will the Tigers now make them pay? True centre wing position on our broadcast side as Naish goes with a long ball inside the 50. Coleman Jones flying back. There were two players claiming the mark. None of them got it in the end. And now we've got a pack of players over the footy. And the umpire will throw it up. 64 plays 56. 28 and a half gone in this third quarter. Probably a long-ish quarter with the goals that we've had, but also plenty of stoppages too. Bolter trying to get the ball down for the Tigers. Henderson was dragged down the tackle, released the footy. Plenty of Bomber numbers around this ball, and the umpire will just come in again. Pretty congested, as you would expect. Bombers don't want to let another one through. Tigers would love another goal. Give them a bit of a cushion heading into the final term as Long for the Bombers goes around the body. And again, it's been cut off. And it's Beasley this time who takes the mark. And he set him up again, the Tigers. For the Tigers.
They get another goal. They'll have their highest lead of the game, 14 points. If the Tigers score from this entry, we're inside 50. Trying to extract the footy. It was Miller. He's wrapped up. Ball up. Kicked a goal in the second term. Has to give it back to the umpire. Noah Bolter against Riley Bowman. Bowman. Hand pass off Laguda. He's kicked to the middle of Windy Hill. Trying to track it back. Here's Pickett, watch out. The Mosquito was coming, got his hand pass out. Caulfield toward the outer wing. Long almost had his head ripped off. Umpire must not have seen it. Heppel, Dixon, one way and the other. It's a hard ball to extract here for the Bombers. Laguda, finally the release was out. Now it's Bagley, kick, just a wobbler. Might have been smothered off the boot. Inside 50 here for the Bombers. Laguda was under pressure. Boundary throw in front of the Leisure Centre. So the Bombers, they can kick a goal and go back within 2 points by three-quarter time. Trailed by a goal at half-time and quarter-time. Umpire to bring it in. We're beyond 30 minutes in this third quarter. Throw in favoured Bolter. Couldn't get Boots a ball though. Minot in his way. Maybe a turnover. Ball's pinballing around. Naish picks up. Handball in board for Butler. He was under pressure though. Ends up with Irving Mosquito. Hand pass back. Long standing start. Inside 50 for the Bombers. Loose man was Heppel. Plays on and kicks the goal. Captain's goal late in the third quarter. And the margin is 2 points at Windy Hill. Essendon 10-2, 62. They're trailing Richmond 10-4, 64. A great game of footy where combined we've seen 20 goals, 6 for the day.
Yeah, I know. Straight kicking as well. Another opportunity for the Bombers. Boy, they needed. You think they needed that one? They have the momentum going in the final quarter. He had to wait for that mark, Heppel, and he did well. Garthwaite sort of coming over the top and then ran off. It was just smart play from the captain. St Kilda by 3 points, 15 minutes into the final term down the road. 10-8-68 to 9-11-65, and it's Geelong by 16, 8-8-56 to the Lions, 5-10-40, 22 gone in the third quarter there. Here, gone 31 and a half minutes. Ball tossed up. Bowman going to work with Coleman Jones as it's been taken away by Hocking. Now the Bombers maybe time for one more. Tynan fumbles, wrapped up in the tackle. Shot it back out. Laguta's kick going wide towards the boundary line. Is it deliberate? No, we'll throw it in. I'm sure that wasn't his intention to put that ball out of play. Right in front of our commentary position. 2-point ball game. 64 plays 62.
Got another long quarter here, Peter.
Yeah, and fair enough because we've had a heap of goals. 5 goals and 4 goals, so 9 for the term. As Tynan just trying to get the ball forward. Bowman trying to do the same thing. Now forced to lay the tackle. Again, we'll throw it up. There have been plenty of stoppages along the way too as Coleman Jones signals he's going to be the one in the right contest. He taps it down, but only as far as Laguta, who kicks that ball out of bounds on the full. No, it's a free kick. It's going the way of the Bombers, and it's downfield. So the 23rd player, Day, will go short. Finds Long. Called to play on by the umpire. Trying to get around the player in front of him. Did well in the end. Now the kick inside. 50. No one can take the mark. Who's going to be there to Rovers? Mind it. Oh, and he has a shot at goal. No, he's put it through for a behind. Oh, sort of went on the outside of the boots. And it means we have a 1-point ball game at three-quarter time at Windy Hill. Richmond 10-4-64, Essendon 10-3-63, 33 minutes gone in the third term. And wow, it sets it up for a big final term coming your way. Stand by. Let's go through the goal kickers, Adam, to three-quarter time. And as you say, it's been clean kicking pretty much the way through.
2 goals each, Heath Hocking and Jordan Houlihan, then singles Begley, Heppel, Laverty, Mosquito, Myers and Minot for Richmond. 2 goals each for Noah Bolsa, Luke English, then singles Butler, Coleman Jones, Menadue, Miller, Moore and Paddy Nash.
We will take a break. The Tigers led by 6 at quarter time, 6 at half time. They lead by just 1 point at three-quarter time. Oh, it's a big final quarter in store. Don't go too far away because we'll have it all for you here on Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Live.
At Totally Workwear, we kit out the brickies, the chippies, the foremen, the tradies. Did we say foremen? They're not all men, some are ladies. Yeah! Work in an office, retail, healthcare, hospitality. Here's where you'll find all your workwear. Yeah, totally. Totally Workwear have got you covered with the best brands, best value and best service. Totally Workwear. Get what you want and get back to work.
Totally Workwear. Nature's an amazing place. It's a perfect balancing act, thriving with life. Some of which we don't even see. Like the billions of microorganisms that help keep nature in balance. At Swiss, the quest continues.
Your Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Club needs you to show your support. Buying a VFL Club membership helps support your local team and provides great discounts and match access. The VFL gives you the chance to get in the coaches' huddle and enjoy kick-to-kick on the field whilst kids under 15 get in free. Get involved in the VFL this season. Head to vfl.com.au/membership to find out what membership offers are available at your club in 2019.
I'm a digital radio.
And I'm a digital TV. Now, you may remember when TV went digital.
Yes, and you got a lot more channels and a better picture.
Well, buying a digital radio is the same.
Exactly. I've got up to 30 extra radio stations, plus all your old faves, and I sound amazing.
Yeah, but I look amazing.
Yeah, but this is a radio ad, so no one can see you.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to hear this station like you have have never heard it before,
buy a digital radio.
Head into your nearest retailer and upgrade to digital.
For club interviews and all the news from the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL and Swiss Wellness VFL Women's, don't miss the VFL Hour during the Sporting Capital with Jack Heverin, Tuesdays from 9 p.m. on 1116 SEN.
But it's your job. You'll be fine.
Mate, just because everybody seems like they're doing it doesn't actually mean that they are doing it.
Help your kids understand that betting and sport don't have to go together.
The ads don't always tell you the risks, yeah?
Before you have the talk, check lovethegame.vic.gov.au. Authorised by VRGF Melbourne.
Don't miss a moment of the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Find SEN2 on your digital radio today for live coverage of the match of the round. The Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Live on SEN2 DAB+.
Love your sport? Then you'll love SEN.
Looks to be the last game of the first set. Almagro leading 5-3.
And you'll find it on digital radio. Simply scroll to SEN, Melbourne's home of sport.
Streaming live through VFL.com.au. This is VFL Live.
Oh, what a final quarter we have in store for you. 1 point the difference. Richmond 10-4-64 leading Essendon 10-3-63. You're watching through VFL.com.au. You're seeing plenty of highlights from that third quarter. Our audience on SEN2. It's going to be an exciting final term coming your way. We'll get the stats in a moment from Adam Sarakoglu, but first let's go around the grounds because it's a tight one down the road, and Carlton 10-11-71 leading St Kilda 10-8-68. 22 minutes gone in the final quarter there, and it's Geelong by 8 points at the Gabba, heading towards three-quarter time. 8-8-56 Geelong, Brisbane 6-12-48. So they're the two scores. Adelaide and Collingwood coming up in about 25 minutes time. Let's go through the stats, but before we do that, actually, Adam, let's go back to where you were, because you're putting the ladder predictor in. If things stay as they are, what does it mean for the Bombers? Because we know Richmond's going to be finishing on top.
So the Bombers on the live ladder right now are fourth with a percentage of 141.21. So that's a two-game buffer over Werribee. Richmond, as we know, already locked into the top spot on the ladder. Interestingly, the Bombers do have a healthier percentage than Richmond, even though they are a couple of wins down. In fact, 4 wins less than what Richmond currently has. So the Bombers, when they win well. It's going to be a close one here today. But on the live ladder, 48 premiership points, and they are 2 behind both Footscray and Williamstown.
If it's reversed, of course, they then, go to 1 game behind, or is it 2 points behind because of the draw that's involved there?
So the Bombers would be second on the ladder if they get the win.
With, of course, Footscray and Williamstown matches in hand. They're playing tomorrow, not against one another, but the Channel 7 game. By the way, a change in location for that TV game. It's down at Avalon Airport Oval tomorrow, not Downer Oval for Williamstown and Geelong. So don't head to Williamstown, go to Werribee instead. And the other games tomorrow, Box Hill, Northern Blues. So is it the end for the Blues? Box Hill keeping their hopes alive. We've got Footscray taking on North Melbourne at Arden Street. Bulldogs want to lock away a top 2 spot. Casey want to lock away a top 8 spot. They're playing Frankston. They've only got that's their final game for the home and away season. And Port Melbourne takes on Sandringham.
Some individual stats here at Wendy Hill. 24 for David Myers, 20 Aaron Heppel, 18 for Jordan Ridley, then 15 each for Dixon and Tynan, 14 each for Laguda. And Minor Long has 13 for Richmond, 19 touches for Patrick Nace. Goal among those 2 tackles. Luke English, 17 touches, 15 each for Noah Bolter and Sydney Stack, 14 Coleman Jones, 13 Collier Dawkins, and 12 for Jacob Townsend, who is a star at this level.
Absolutely. All right, scene is set. Last, the spectators making their way off Windy Hill. We're set for a big final term. It's the final quarter of the home and away season for Richmond. They've got the bye next week. Essendon will play Geelong. They want to win here. They want to keep a top 2 finish. Let's see what happens. It is a 1-point ball game heading into this final term.
It was a remarkable third term. The Bombers kicked 3 goals in a row. Then Richmond returned the favour with 3 of their own. We've gone goal for goal since. The scene is set for a big finish at Windy Hill. The final term's underway, and Collier Dawkins is going nowhere. Strong tackle by Aaron Heppel, having a very, very good day. It's almost a family dynasty for the Bombers, the two captains of the two sides, both Heppels. Long inside 50. Was looking for Hawking, but might have been just held up in the process by Caulfield. It gets punched out of play. Boundary throw in here.
Draw makes it interesting for Essendon, because then it does become sort of, if
when I get a chance, I'll see
Footscray and Williamstown get the win, it then becomes a one-game buffer.
I'll see what a draw does to the live ladder in a moment, Peter. Umpire to throw it in.
I'll tell
in front of the primary school. So the ball spinning back into play. Bowman, the big fist. Begley was pressured and harassed there by Camden McIntosh. Flying there was Butler, wanted a free kick. The standing start shot from Harepool, marked by Garthwaite on the last line of defence.
All right, so let's see now. Garthwaite thinking about going the broadcast side. He just shot the handball out to Pickett, who goes with the long ball outside the 50. Naish trying to get front position on Houlihan. It fell to the back. Mosquito, can he keep it in? No. Boundary line wins out. We'll have it thrown in into attack here for Richmond.
The draw would put Essendon into third spot tonight on the ladder, behind Footscray on percentage, but ahead of Williamstown on percentage. Into
attack here for Essendon, I'll correct myself. Ball tossed back in. Picked out of the ruck there by Bolter, who just hurls it onto the boot. Into the middle of the ground, Silvestro fumbled. It falls to the back D at defensive 50. At the handball back, Ridley, working with teammate Guccione, who goes across the ground and finds Jock. Half back on that outer side. It's going to be shifted back to the middle of the ground, still inside defensive 50. Ridley will go to Marshall, and Marshall can go for a bit of a run too. Outside defensive 50s, kick up towards centre wing, has to be precise. It isn't. Excellent work by Townsend again in the one-on-one. Oh, and an even better smother from Houlihan, fighting back as well. It's been indicative of what this contest has been today, and we'll have it thrown in true centre wing.
Sun's just ducked behind the clouds for the first time today as well.
Or as true as we can be with the way this ground is configured. Ball tossed back in. Ball to Minot. He lost a handle on a Bolter coming through. Shot the handball out to no one in particular. Now a chance again for the Bombers. Myers just flicked the handball into space and found Bolter again, who taps the ball over the boundary line. The Tigers gaining about 25 metres as we have it tossed back in. As we see Bolter. Bowman got front position, got the tap down. Now Long coming through across to Houlihan. His kick, high ball. It's going to be marked again. And Caulfield, he's had a good game. There's Daniel Caulfield today for the Tigers. He takes the mark.
12 touch.
Goes short. They've been effective though. Naish takes it. Well, I want to go back inside defensive 50 to Garthwaite as they switch from the commentary side to the outer side, and Beasley on the other end of it takes the mark. Now he looks up. Hugh Beasley, in a mainstay for this Richmond VFL side. The kick intended there for the skipper, but it went over the head of Stephen Morris, and it ends up in the hands of Butler anyway, because no one was near the footy. And a ball dropped there by Turner. It's been held up, and the umpire will come in and intervene. 1 point ball game. No score so far in this final term, which is 3.5 minutes old.
We've had no change to the score yet from three-quarter time. Umpire throws it up. Bowman has had a good day in the ruck. He's been doing it alone all day long. Speaking of long it falls over. Boundary throwing.
Three-quarter time.
Some contact from Energy.
Three-quarter time at the Gabba. Geelong by 9 points. 8-9-57 to the Lions 6-12-48. And down the road, Carlton by 9, 24 into the last. 11-11-77 to 10-8-68. Carlton over St Kilda, 29 gone there.
Close games wherever you look today, Peter Mercado. Umpire throws it in, fisted down. Ridley overruns it. Butler picks up. Ridley claims him. It goes out of play. Boundary throw in.
He's over the line first.
Just on the outskirts of 50 here. It will be the Tigers kicking to the Napier Street end in this final term. It's on their left half forward flank. Ball comes back into play now. Bowman front position over Bolter. Minot gets the clearance for Essendon. High ball to centre wing. McIntosh couldn't take the mark. Pressured by Heppel. Now Morris, was he claimed high. Hawking was the tackler. Umpire crosses his arms. This really feels like the calm before the storm.
Well, the final storm anyway.
Umpire throws it up. We're on centre wing on the outer side. Long, pressured by Coleman Jones. It goes out of play. So the Tigers have the minor premiership wrapped up. They'll get a home final in 2 weeks from now at the Swinburne Centre and a week off next week. They have the bye in the final round. Essendon going up the highway to take on the Cats at the GMHBA Stadium. It's an 11:40 start on Sunday. Is that our TV game next week?
It is.
Watch that one.
That'll be Box
on
Hill
the screens
Collingwood.
of 7.
Box Hill Collingwood for us next week at Box
That'll
Hill
be on
City
Saturday,
Oval.
yep.
There'll be Swiss Wellness and VFL Women's as well.
I believe Michael Peppicelli back on the coverage for that one alongside you, Peter.
Yeah, have a week off.
Throw in. There's no such thing as a week off for me. I'll be otherwise engaged as we see another boundary throw in. Ball's fisted back toward the line. In fact, the umpire's paid deliberate.
Gee, okay. Trying to get things moving, clearly.
Against Coleman Jones. He might have been the one that's... no, I'm thinking of someone else. Don't mind me. So, Richmond ball here. Finally, the congestion's going to be broken. Pickett's ball. Intended for more, but it's out of bounds on the full. Gee, it's been a great game, Peter, but not a great start to this final.
Not that last 10 or so minutes, as Guccione has it for the Bombers.
6.5 minutes of not much so far in his final term.
No, 6.5, and then the last part of the third term as well. Had some good highlights in that third term, but 6 minutes here hasn't been the greatest. It's been untidy, but it's been okay. We'll get something going at some stage. It's Turner going to be that player on centre wing on the outer side as sends the Tigers inside 50. It's going to go over the head of Coleman Jones. Picked up by Silvestro. He's wrapped up in the tackle, and the umpire will come in and throw it up. There's just a bit of a lull now to start off this final term, but it's going to be cleared away by Heppel for the Bombers. Up towards centre wing. Now, Camden McIntosh has that wing to himself. He picks up the footy, spins around, and then sends the ball back from where it came, and picked up by Longlow for the Bombers. Gets it out, Marshall. Little short kick is okay. Finds Laverty in the middle of Windy Hill. They're building again, the Bombers. To kick inside the 50. Unit trying to do body work, but McIntosh in front takes a superb mark for Richmond. He kicks across the ground, finds Naish. And the Tigers now will look to reset. Naish still inside defensive 50 near the boundary line now, broadcast side. Spots up Silvestro, one grab, 2/3. This time he takes the mark. He'll go with a shorter ball to Weller. True centre wing position. Right near his interchange gates. Mav Weller. Silvestro switching with English. There's the kick from Weller up towards half forward. Jock has to fly. Townsend had front position. No one could take the mark in the end. Townsend, the second effort was good. Menadue went without the footy. Picked up by Sybil. Wrapped up in the tackle. It's eventually released. Trying to clear the space is Tynan. The kick partially smothered. Working there is Long. And Long's buried into the turf. And the umpire will throw it up. 1 point ball game. No scores yet. 8.5. This is what we saw in the opening term. 64 plays 63. 1 point lead to Richmond. 8.5 into the final quarter.
So it was a 12-minute goal from Noel Bolter that got the scoring underway here. Interesting that I think it was Josh Begley was coming off. Bruno Laguda ready to come on, and the staff told him, "No, get back out there, stay out there." And here he is getting a touch. Eventually, he fumbled. Never actually picked it up in the end. It's a high-pressure ball here. Butler with the tackle. Menadue comes in to help. We can have a ball up at left half forward.
3 full time, and it's Carlton with the win there. 11-12-78 to St Kilda, 10-8-68. A 10-point win to Carlton, and 5 minutes into the final quarter, Geelong by 17 over the Lions.
You're calling that the Brett Ratton Cup? So, ball's going to be extracted here by Minot. He goes toward a fairly open half forward line. Bouncing ball picked up by Bagley. Good hand pass. Now Begley. Wormburner inside 50. Chance here for the Bombers. Just missed though by Smith. Very well done by the Tigers to win the ball back. Ball was cleared out by Henderson, but a good mark is taken by Ridley. He's had a fairly good day today. Ridley goes short. Union from centre wing, kept on running. Bombers inside 50. 1-on-1, 2-on-2. No mark taken. Laverty, Jock. Jock has to get the hand pass out. Laverty now, head down, bum up, and then got tackled straight away. It's a very hard footy to win right now. The first goal of this final term will be absolutely crucial.
Yep, and we'll wait for this to be tossed up. Jock trying to get that ball down. Again, players dive in on top of it. Hot footy to win. So we're 10.5 minutes into this final term. Now Ruckman nominating. All the usual. Coleman Jones getting the tap down. Here's Hocking going around the body towards the teeth of goal. No could take the mark. It spills free. Here's a chance. Dixon bending it around. No, it's through for a behind. Leslie Smith happy to let that one go through. 10-4-64. The two teams are deadlocked. 11 minutes into this final term.
All three results well and truly in play here. McIntosh, the long left foot ball. That's a good mark, backing back by Coleman Jones. CCJ. He goes with the kick towards half forward. That's okay. Mark taken by Turner. Turns onto the right foot. We're inside 50 now for the Tigers. That's a very good mark. Townsend went up, but the man at the back was Guccione. Affected the contest. Might have taken out a teammate in the process. Takes a good relieving mark. Guccione over the top for Dixon. That's okay. Almost lost it in the sun. A small nudge after he took it from Camden McIntosh. A couple of fans here potentially asking for 50. None forthcoming. The kick goes towards centre wing. The fist there from Henderson. Ground level ball. Hairpool did well to get around a tackler. Kick towards half forward. He's run out of real estate though.
Yeah.
Boundary throw in. Did play in a senior premiership on this ground for Strathmore. At local level did Aaron Heppel. Boundary throw in. That was 5 years ago. Centre wing. Ball spinning back into play. Just one behind scored in this final term so far. And scores a level. We have another boundary throw in. Where does the breakthrough come from?
Yeah, but it's been the contrasting quarters where we had a good first quarter, but it was a low-scoring one. We only had the 5 goals in it. Similar sort of thing here. Where is that goal going to come from? The Tigers go forward. It's inside their 50. Ball falls to the back. Townsend on Sibbald. Great tackle, Townsend. Rides him into the turf. And the umpire will come in and throw the ball up. Right near the boundary line, but deep into attack for the Tigers. Rocking just marshalling the troops. Jock's got some work to do here to keep the ball out. Coleman Jones did well just to bring it to ground. It's near the boundary line. We'll have it thrown in. 10-4-64. Richmond and Essendon. We are deadlocked. We are 13 minutes into the final term. Into attack for the Tigers. Coleman Jones the front position this time on Jock. Well, it's nicely worked out. The top of the goal square more. Oh, the Essendon player went one-handed, Guccione. Fell to Sibbald, who cleared the area and did well. Got it to Begley. Begley takes the mark inside defensive 50. He looks up. He doesn't see a hell of a lot and decides to go for a run. Now kicks the ball up towards centre wing. Garthwaite. Oh, nice work over the top by Day, the 23rd player. Shot the handball out through sets of hands. Working here is Laverty. Minot fumbled 3 or 4 times. Still picked it up. Dragged down by the jumper. Wheeled it out. Hocking picked it up. Cross here to Jock, who found some space. Oh, he turned the ball over to Morris. But stolen there by Heppel in the middle of the ground. The kick inside 50 is a dangerous one. Smith trying to lead in the race for this. Nice work, Henderson. Oh, he lost the footy. Smith allowed the Shepherd to go on. Here's Eunan. Eunan dragged down. Did he dispose of that correctly? I don't think so. And the umpire will come in, and it's going to be a free kick going the way of the Tigers. Incorrect disposal, and Fraser Turner to take it inside defensive 50.
It's a high ball off the sort of top part of the foot there. English. Interesting ball that for Coleman Jones. Good build up here for the Tigers. The left foot inside 50. Townsend running back. And a shot on goal coming up. Any score puts Richmond in front. So we've played 15 minutes in this final term. Richmond has not scored yet. in this final term. The Bombers have one behind to their name. And now Jacob Townsend, who has 17 goals, 13 for the season, another outstanding year. Already has one Liston trophy in the cabinet. That was in 2017. Right foot snap, and Richmond lead by a goal. 11-4-70, Essendon 10-4-64. 15 and a half minutes have been played in this final term at Windy Hill.
Yeah, it's just nice vision from Butler setting up that play initially and then Townsend finishing it off. It's now back to the Bombers to respond. I'm feeling this is going to be a low scorer this final term. By the way, Geelong by 2 goals now, 11 minutes into the final quarter against the Lions. Carlton, the 10-point winners over St Kilda. The twilight game, about 6 minutes away from starting. Adelaide and Collingwood over in Adelaide. But now, ball back in the middle. Been a good crowd today. Been a great day for footy all round. Round 20. Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL live with you next week at Box Hill next Saturday afternoon to finish off the home and away season. Bolter jumped a little bit too early. Bowman just trying to paddle it forward for his team. Oh, stolen by Mosquito. Took one high. Yeah, brought down in the tackle too high. Umpire in the right position for that one. And Irving Mosquito will take the free kick. Still inside the centre square of Windy Hill. He goes for a run. Oh, and he gets around the player on the mark too. He gains 15 metres and then kicks into the pocket. Garthwaite pushed his player out, couldn't take the mark and fumbles it over the line. We'll have it thrown in deep into attack here for the Bombers. Really want to respond quickly as we tick over 17 minutes in this final term. Ball tossed back in. Bowman did well to get front position, but not really to any sort of advantage. Beasley, his kick was partially smothered. In a little bit of trouble, Pickett, and that ball's going to be pushed through for a goal. Oh, it kicked off the ground. Didn't quite see who it was in the end. It was out of the pack. I actually thought one of the Richmond players might have just forced it through, but it came off a Bomber's boot.
My best guess is Tynan Smith. Let's have a look at the replay for our viewing audience on VFL.com.au.
So the ball spills clear. Oh no, it's
definitely
Tynan Smith. You're right. Tynan Smith did well in that close contest. I need to have a look at the replay for that one. And we're level again, 11-4-70 apiece. We've gone 18 minutes in this final quarter.
Live ladder, Essendon third, but a game in hand for Footscray in second. Back in the middle. This is Richmond's final home and away game of the season. Got a big finals campaign coming up for both divisions at the club, AFL and VFL level, for the third year running. Butler fed the hand pass out, but McIntosh was under some pressure, had to lay the tackle. Ball up, still inside the centre square.
So just the one goal. One goal, one for Essendon, and one goal for Richmond. Been plenty of stoppages, but it's not going to be an overly long quarter.
So we're approaching time on of this final term now. As long is wrapped up, and we have another ball up. There's been a high stoppage count in this second half. Umpire throws it up once more. Bowman tried to tap it down to the advantage of Long, but it's picked up by Silvestro. Tackled as he tried to get the hand passed out. Mosquito, he maybe didn't know which way he was going. Hand pass off. Bagley inside 50. Garthwaite takes the intercept mark and he's quick to switch. Fraser Turner, ball's going to bounce in front of him, popped over his head, a very unkind bounce. Laguda, hand pass in board. Guccione from 55, kicks on the way. No mark taken, tried to soccer off the ground, did Smith, and it's a minor score for Essendon.
How Steve Morris didn't chop the arms there, I'll never know.
11-5-71 Essendon, Richmond 11-4-70, 19 and a half gone final term.
All right, Camden McIntosh to bring the ball back into play. Hugs the broadcast side, it might be turned over. It goes past Turner in the end for the Bombers. An important contest, good tackling pressure here by Miller. Just to lock that ball in, because it could have been dangerous. Laguda looked up, had options. So wait for this ball to be tossed up. Important contest here. Bombers lead it by a point. To ground we go. Trying to find way through as Bagley is tackled over the boundary line right near the Richmond interchange bench on our broadcast side. As now we tick into time on. 20 minutes gone. 11-5-71 Essendon, Richmond 11-4-70. The ball to be tossed back into play. Rucks to go at it. Oh, a bit of a push out there for Bowman by Bolter. Now they pile in on top. The umpire says, give it to me. A lot of stoppages in this final term. Bolter, Bowman to go at it again. Might get the hit out count from you in a moment, Adam, just to see how that battle has progressed. As it's in the hands of Pickett, who goes with a long ball. It's inside the 50. English caught out. Marshall, great mark for Essendon on debut, and he runs on as well. The kick to a couple of players in space. One of those is Bagley. He takes the mark at half back. Looks up. The crowd wanting to keep going. Umpire wants him to keep going. Called to play on. The kick is short. It's good. And it's Dixon right in front of our commentary position.
Hit-outs 46 apiece. 41 of Essendon's belong to Riley Bowman. 26 for Coleman Jones, 19 for Bolter.
Now this kick is going to go up the line. 2-on-2 contest. Maybe a bit of a push out. It was there. The umpire in position. Bowman. He wants to go on. His kick inside 50 is going to be turned over. Henderson takes the mark for Richmond, and they can reset again. A 1-point ball game. Essendon leading 21.5 into the last.
Should be plenty of time left. The Tigers would love to go coast to coast right now. It's in the hands of Naish. In front of the cricket nets here at Windy Hill. Helicopter ball toward the winger, just floated and then dipped down late. Collier Dawkins, good hand pass to release Menadue. A goal puts the Tigers in front. Menadue's kick's on the way. They do go coast to coast. They do take the lead. A thriller at Windy Hill. 12-4-76 to 11-5-71. Tigers on top once more.
How was the finish there by Menadue? It sort of looked like he was looking for someone more inboard, but once he realised those options were gone, he straightened up, and it's a terrific finish. Just the presence of mind to straighten up and put her through. He knew as soon as it left the boot that it was on the way. And now Richmond back in front. 22 minutes gone in the final term. It's Geelong by 18 points, by the way. 18 minutes into the last. Up at the Gabba. Win for Carlton over St Kilda. Only game of Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL today, and it's a thriller. Bolter flew high from the ruck contest, but Myers picking up the footy, going absolutely nowhere. He's wrapped up by Butler, and the umpire will throw it up right next to the circles. Gets it moving quickly. Same ruckman go at it. Bolter, ball just volleyball spiking off hands, and again we've had it held up. 23 minutes gone in this final term. 76 plays 71. Richmond leading. There's nice dexterity out of the ruck contest there from Coleman Jones, trying to send the Tigers forward. Great tackling pressure again. Oh no, he got away in the end. Bolter got the handball. Townsend 48 metres out. He tries to straighten but misses. And now we have a 1-goal ball game. 12-5 plays 11-5, 77 playing 71. Richmond leading 23.5 minutes gone, final term.
So a couple minutes ago, Richmond had to go coast to coast, and Connor Menadue kicked a goal. Bombers need to do the same thing now. Laverde, hand pass into the middle, does well to get it to Mosquito. Now Laguda, it's a promising build-up for Essendon. Kick to the middle, Bagley, hand pass option, Myers. Further wide is Jock. Good build-up, Bombers, inside 50. Jock's kick, just a little shallow to be picked up here by Minot. Has to, well, he can't actually pick it up at the moment. Great pressure on him. Applied, I think it was Miller, and we have a ball up at the top of 50. Right on 50.
That was Nation Garthwaite coming through in that contest, and boy, they need to do that, but Minot just couldn't take clean possession.
Umpire throws it up right on the digits. It hit ground level. Menadue doing it at both ends. He clears away. It'll take 2 bounces and go out of play. It's a boundary throw in, and Richmond lead by a kick. What's happened to you?
No, it's out. It's out. It's a free kick to the Bombers. Marshall takes it. Free kick, and he goes short to Long. He's got Marshall running alongside again. His kick going inside the 50. Who's going to take them? Oh, strong work again by Coleman Jones. Put the hands up. No problem with his nose in the second quarter. He is fired today for Richmond. His kick going up the line. Miller. No, couldn't get hands to it. It falls to the back. Jock has it for Essendon. His handball inboard. Marshall has to go and pick it up on his hands and knees. Now wrapped up in the Menadue tackle. Got the handball out to Long. On centre wing. His kick going forward. The mark's been taken by Mosquito. It goes in the middle of the ground where Myers has it. In the middle of Windy Hill. He goes with a kick inside the 50. It's a high ball. It beats the initial pack. Who's going to pick it up? Hands and knees. Garthwaite through his hands. Beasley's got to lay the tackle. It's right near. Oh, it kept it in by Camden McIntosh. He's right on the goal line. His kick's going to go in short. It could be dangerous. It went through Myers. Picked up by Butler. Wrapped up in the tackle. Too high, Marshall. He was too high. It's going to be a free kick Richmond's way at defensive 50. To almost 26 minutes gone. His kick short across the ground. Egamalesi Smith takes it. He's going to go back to McIntosh at centre half back on the paint of 50. McIntosh slowing it down somewhat. Called to play on. Goes across the ground looking for Henderson. Oh, he was under pressure. He couldn't take the mark. Well done, Bagley. Henderson goes back in again. Brushes a tackle. Now he can steady. His kick is short. His kick is good. And Naish takes the mark.
He'll be no rush, Patrick Naish. Does chip over the top for Pickett, who's just come back out onto the ground. We do not know how long's left in this one. Down the line for Menadue. Tigers by a kick. They'll have a week off next week. Host the qualifying final at the Swinburne Centre. They win that direct passage into the prelim. Perhaps their second shot at a grand final at VFL level in 3 seasons. We have a ball up inside 50 for the Tigers.
What a difference a week makes, eh? They were thrashed last week, the Bombers. Look at this turnaround.
It's at the wrong end of the ground for those in red and black. Tackle by Long. Umpires letting it go. Ball did come out eventually. Under pressure, English had it stolen from him. The clearing kick by Guccione. McIntosh. The Shepherd. How good was the Shepherd? Egamalesi Smith.
Oh, he's in trouble. Mosquito's in trouble.
In terrible pain. What's happened to him?
I reckon he's hammy.
He has gone down. He is wincing in pain.
We're going to stop the play because it's happening right next to Irving Mosquito. He ran so hard. He was pushed off the footy. It was a legal Shepherd, but I reckon he's pinged his hammy. Oh, that's a shame. That is a real shame.
Irving Mosquito is going to come off the ground here. He's walking straight toward the Essendon interchange gate. His day looks to be done. Play will resume with the ball in the hands of Patrick Naish. Just forward of centre wing. He will be in no rush. We've expected short quarters, but a lot of them have gone beyond 30 today. The barrel inside 50 went straight down the throat of a bomber. It's Aaron Hairpole. Now they need to go coast to coast.
Into the dugout, I think. No, they're going to go straight to the rooms with Mosquito. Keep an eye on that, Adam, please, as the kick is marked by Minot. Between wing and half back. Trent Minot needs to go for it now. The kick into the middle of the ground. Oh, over the head of Union. It beats him in the pack. Beasley, a big tackle. And the umpire will throw the ball up. Right on the point of the square, attacking side for Essendon. And Laverty taking plenty of time. Has he gone into the...
No, he stayed in the race.
Stayed in the dugout. Sorry, yes. Point of the square. Coleman Jones, Bowman pushing it forward, but Naish hurls it onto the boot. It goes across the ground, and this one's a foot race. Jock getting there. Will he get there first? He will. Good skills just to keep it away from Turner and win the footy too. He goes across the ground, more into the middle of the ground. And he finds Laguda. Laguta's kick for Tynan. Oh, he dropped really what he should have taken, even though he was under pressure. Now dragged down the tackle. Turnover. Miller. Moore. Here go the Tigers. This could be for the game. Butler's kick is a goal. Oh, it took an eternity for it to arrive on the goal line, but it got there. 13-5-83 Richmond, Essendon 11-5-71, 29.5 gone in the final quarter.
Is there enough time for the Bombers to kick 2 goals? They would have to do it beyond the 30-minute mark of the final term. Dan Butler with the finish. 2 goals for the day. We're back in the middle. No room for error now for the Bombers. They need this clearance. They need an inside 50. They need 6 points and then rinse and repeat. It's the only way now for Essendon. Back in the middle. Good bounce. Bowman again probably won the tap but not to advantage. High clearing ball by Myers. It won't penetrate 50. Bouncing ball for Morris. He needs to get away from Noonan. Collier Dawkins, it got pickpocketed. Turnover. Ridley. It's an empty square. One Tiger going back. It's McIntosh.
It didn't look. He didn't look.
Camden McIntosh on the last line of defence.
They were all goal side, the Tigers defenders there.
Tigers should be on their way to a 16-2 home and away record. An outstanding season by the minor premier, capped off by what looks to be a gritty, hard-fought win at Windy Hill, but play goes on.
Hold in.
Boundary thrown in front of Dan Jordan. Bombers looking at back-to-back losses. Third loss in 4 since the bye. They'll play Geelong next week on the screens of 7, Sunday, 11:40 at GMHBA Stadium.
Ball tossed back in. Time running down now. 31 minutes gone. And the ball's held up again. Plenty of stoppages. How many goals in this quarter? 3 for the Tigers and just the 1 for Essendon. Everyone's separating out. The wrestle continues. Myers at the bottom of this pack. What's going on here? Let him up. Myers, oh no, he's going to give away a free kick here if he's not careful. He has. Yep, he pushed Townsend's head into the turf. That was undisciplined. And right in full view of the umpire.
He's had 30 touches today, leading ball getter on the ground, David Myers.
I know you talk. I know, but that just takes the gloss off it. You take away from that. You do the old. I know about rotations, but should be dragged for that. There's the siren. Big win for the Tigers to finish off their home and away season. What a great performance. What a great game that was. Hard fought from start to finish. And the Tigers come away winners. 13-5-83 to Essendon. 11-5-71.
3 goals to 1 in the final term. The final 2 goals of the game. The winner kicked by Dan Butler, who finishes the day with 2. Richmond established themselves as perhaps the team to beat this year in the Hard Jacket Totally Workwear VFL.
They led by 6 at quarter time, 6 at half time, 1 point at 3/4 time, and they end up winning by 12 in the finish. It was tight all day. Let's go through the goal kickers to full time. 2 goals to Noah Bolter, Dan Butler, Luke English and Connor Menadue, and singles to Townsend, Moore, Coleman, Jones, Naish and Miller. And for the Bombers, 2 to Jordan Houlihan and Heath Hocking, and singles to Laverty, Begley, Mosquito, Myers, Minot, Heppel and Smith. What a performance. 13-5-83 Richmond to Essendon, 11-5-71. A close contest, a 12-point ball game. And in terms of ladder position, it doesn't change all that much, because Essendon will remain 4th and Richmond will remain top.
Percentages though, so Richmond 16-2 to end their season, 135.49. Footscray second at 12-3-1, as are Williamstown 12-3-1. The percentage gap is 26% there. Essendon, they are 4th at 12-5, 139.54. They will play Geelong in the final round next week at GMHBA Stadium.
Really tied up in Brisbane as well. A 5-point ball game there, ticking down to full time. But here, what a great performance. Let's quickly go through the stats, I think.
Before I do, a couple of injury concerns of just a couple of players on ground level. There's Irving Mosquito, the right hamstring is iced up. He was having a conversation with Derek Egmalesi-Smith. I think Sydney Stack has not ended the game here, Peter. I don't know if we've missed an injury, but there might be an injury concern there for the Tigers that we might try and follow up if we can as well. But let's have a look at some of the key stat getters to end this game for the victorious Tigers. Paddy Naish ended the day with 26 touches, 19 for Cal Coleman-Jones, 18 Bolter, English and McIntosh, 17 for Butler, as well as 2 goals, 1 Riley Collier-Dawkins got 16. Essendon 30 for David Myers in the end, 25 for Aaron Heppel. Jordan Ridley got 24, Dixon 19, Jake Long 19, Trent Minot 18.
We are fast running out of time in our coverage. There's 2 minutes 52 to go up in Brisbane, by the way, and it's still a one-kick game, 73 plays 69. So we'll keep you up to date in the remaining time we have available. But what a great performance that is by this Richmond side. What a great game of footy it was too. We've got a big round 20 still coming here for Hardyacker Totally Workwear VFL, and tomorrow big games coming up. Box Hill and the Northern Blues. We've got Williamstown taking on Geelong at Avalon Airport Oval. North Melbourne face Footscray. Casey take on Frankston, and Sandringham take on the Borough. We've got Coburg, Collingwood and Werribee. They've got the byes to this week, and then next week our game, it'll be a big one. Box Hill taking on Collingwood.
So Sydney Stack has ended the day, can confirm now in crutches, and it might be a right foot issue because the right boot has been taken off Sydney Stack. He's the man that's injured for the Bombers. Irving Mosquito has done what looks like a hamstring for the Bombers. So a couple of little bits of bad news for both sides. He put on a great display of VFL football today.
It was a great show. Our coverage coming to an end on VFL.com.au and also SEN2. As I said, next Saturday we will have Swiss Wellness VFL Women's for you as well. And it'll be Hawthorn playing Collingwood in that match. And then the 2 o'clock bounce will be on air at 1:45. It will be a big game. Box Hill taking on Collingwood. VFL.com.au for all the latest news and results. But for all our listeners on SEN2, it's goodbye for now. And for everyone else streaming around the place, very, very quick wrap-up coming your way here as the Tigers make their way into the rooms. But they'll finish the home and away season on top, 4th place for the Bombers.
So, Bombers are in 4th. Richmond now, though, they got a home final last year against Williamstown. It was at the Swinburne Centre. It was a night game, I think, Peter.
It was, I remember.
And from memory, Seagulls got up that night.
They did.
So the Tigers will be hoping that they can go one better this time around when they do get that home game at the Swinburne Centre. Could well be against the Bombers again in a couple of weeks' time, but the Tigers well and truly on track. I think we're just hearing the song in the background there. Yep. Directly below us in the Cookson stand. An outstanding team at this level are the Tigers. A much better performance from the Bombers today, especially given they were outnumbered by 7 in terms of AFL listed players. Tigers had 18 out there today, only 11 for Essendon.
All right, that's about it for our coverage this afternoon. Thank you so much for your company, whether you've been watching us through VFL.com.au. Box Hill and Collingwood is our game for broadcast next week. By the way, the line's in front of minute 24. I think I might catch the end of this one. But here it was Richmond 13-5-83 defeating Essendon 11-5-71. We'll catch you again next week through VFL.com.au and also through SEN2.